it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
And here, live at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, we make some more. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Invitational 2025. Boston, are you ready to make history? Game number one begins now! It is Hurst Company Academy! It's a one-team!
We can't quite see the punt.
Oh, it's down, a beautiful first!
Cyber isn't going to let him just sit on this. Oh, brilliantly played.
It seems like Furia might just have numbers, but they've lost a couple. And Philippe Wapsi, BDS, steal that round for Furia. He's working a triple for Dream. It's all up to Nate and Philippe Ox now. Numbers in a disadvantage for them. And Nate is on the floor.
Pressurization complete.
First map looks to be locked on to be there. Putting out the 1v1.
Unbelievable stuff from the Brazilian. It's all up to
He's been here before. He's got to step across. It's all about this 1 versus 1. He wins it out. Rene's going for the plant. Simon's got 3. We're down towards this last 30 seconds.
Better King is manoeuvring here.
Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going up Tim. Finally one-shot pick.
Andy, let's see if the swing.
The waiting. Solotov's down. 3 days off. He's also down.
Well, it's a beginning of a new era. Lads and gents, welcome. Enjoyers of Rainbow Six Siege, it will be Season 5 of Voltage League. We're going to be starting off today here with the group stages. And well, who better to start us off with than Buffalo Bob, and the man, the myth, the legend, an even bigger of a legend than one himself, will be Amguns to my right, I think. Yeah, that's the
To
one.
your left.
No, it's my right. This one's the right.
You're right. Oh yeah, that's
It is.
correct. You are correct indeed.
Yeah, it's
But
flipped. It's
you're,
flipped.
I think it's fair to say you've been around a little bit longer than I have. You are undeniably the GOAT of the T4 casting. I think it's fair to say, Puffo. But
Oh
we
my
are going to
God.
be jumping into our second game of today. And you might be wondering, everyone, what happened to the first game? So, Puffo Bob, do you want to walk us through why we're not watching Psychopatas v NXT at the moment?
Well, every now and then, Spain tends to have a bit of electric outages, and today, sadly, Psychopaths versus NXT will not be on the show due to the fact that they could not make it in time. Of course, those are completely valid reasons. They do get excused, but they just will not be broadcasted, that being, of course, the result of it. Well, Amguns, just to not frighten anyone on the stream, we still have about 3 matches to watch today, 3 best of ones to be exact, and, well, what are we going to be going through right now?
Yeah, we got some 3 cracking games up for you guys today. So obviously Psychopatas NXT was just the first game of 4 games we're supposed to have today. The game we're going to be kicking off with is Turks versus the Snakes, I believe is our first game. Then we're going to have Valor versus Wild. This is not the main Wild roster. This is a different Wild. That's going to be our second game on the stream here today. And then our last game is going to be... I've had a brain fart.
Gunners versus Diavoli.
There we go. Or what do we call Diavoli's logo? Butch Sheep? Or what do we call it? Muscle Sheep. Muscle Sheep is our little nickname for them, as they've got one of the coolest logos I think I've seen in a while. So we should have some absolute banging gameplay coming up for everyone to enjoy to kick off this group stage of the Voltage series.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think it should be. I think it would be fantastic. And at the same time, I mean, everyone's wondering, I mean, we already have the best of one currently, the first one today, and the second one that's meant to be in the group stage, Psychopaths. They were not able to do so, so Turks LFO will be replacing them with the Snake or Year of the Snake for the full title. And I'm just wondering, what map are we going to be going to today? Because, of course, every gladiator needs their arena, and we can take a look at my right, the screen's left, whatever you want to consider it, but Amguns, it will be Border.
It's going to be an absolute frag fest of a map. And I love watching Border. It's absolute carnage when we go to Border. This map is tiny. I can't stress this enough every time we get onto Border. The thing about these particularly tiny maps is it gives the defense the opportunity to deny all access to the map itself, especially on areas like Brazil and on Top East. If you're wondering what Brazil is, it's the little bunker area inside of CC. Those are massive strongholds the defense can set up to immediately cause the attack problems. And it forces the attacking side to have to think very, very quickly and on their feet to deal with some early aggression. And that's why we get such a frag-heavy map coming out in the form of Border.
Absolutely. And well, let's take a look at the teams a bit more in depth, as of course, it will be on top Turks LFO, and below, you're the Snakes. These players are more than ready. I can imagine that they've been practicing for a while, maybe some ranked games right before this, and like we said, a scrim or two. But currently, again, it will be the first match. We cannot show any standings just yet because, of course, logically, they need to be first made. And up until that match, let's allow these teams to show off a bit. And, you know, as much as we see the beautiful players here, again, looking at the wrong side. But what about the predictions? Who predicted for who? Let's have a look, shall we?
And it's going to be very, very even on the predictions, as I say that. 3 of us going for the Turks, only Unnamed Gamer backing Profit's side and the Snakes. Unnamed Gamer has a history of being sometimes spot on the money. He's got his own little strategy when it comes to these predictions, but he's going to be the odd one out, as the Turks being the heavy favorite coming into this game. And just to give some context on these teams as well, the Turks have been around for a long, long time. They're coming into Voltage with not an ideal result in their EML journey, we can say. They were really hoping to make it into those playoffs. They did have some real trouble as well in EML. There was a lot of drama surrounding some of their fixtures. So coming into Voltage, they're going to be looking to make up for lost time. And they're at the Snakes, a new roster, from my understanding. Prophet and his boys have got some big names in their lineup. So I'm really hoping to see with this new project team what they can cook up for us, Puffer.
Yeah, here are the Snake coming in a bit more early, again, like you said it. We're going to see if that new roster can nicely put the chemistry together, if we can have it flowing like H2O. And in the meanwhile, Turks LFO, as much as they are established a bit more, they've been having a rough current. They've definitely had their own challenges in EML, but the fact is that they've still played it, they've still progressed, had their ups and downs, and they've most undoubtedly learned from their mistakes, which we're looking to see how they're going to be performing with those in mind going into this first match. Again, Border, Frag Mayhem, it was mentioned like it, and many more. But after that, we have 2 extra matches that we haven't been focusing on. Wild Multigaming versus Valor Esports and Gunners versus Diavoli. Now, this is going to be a personal question, but what maps are we hoping to see?
I'm really hoping we get some of the maps like Chalet would be nice. Cons has been rising in popularity, so if we get a Cons game, it would be pretty cool. But we are good to get into the game. Here we go into Border. We haven't got too much time to worry about what's going to be happening in the future, as it's all going to be happening right here, right now, in the form of Border, Puffer.
In the form of Border, like we said, incarnate when it comes down to demolition. And well, Turks going to be the ones to firstly ban off an attacker. And I'm just imagining what an absolute frack fest it will be. Now, information on this map is absolutely vital. So when it comes down to the defense, I'm expecting Valkyrie, I'm expecting Azami. But on the attack, the one thing many attackers and defenders both alike still fear are going to be shield operators. That being the point of why Blackbeard has already left us.
And the thing is, will Snakes get interesting with it? Deimos is a really cool band to deny some of the verticality, or will they be boring and go with the other shield in the form of the Monty or the Blitz? And it is going to be the Deimos indeed.
Let's go!
Lovely stuff. So we're going to have at least 3 shields available. You know, we've got the Fuse shield, the Blitz, and the Monty all available. The Fuse shield pick is really interesting. That's been rising in popularity amongst some competitive players as well. You can use him to take out a lot of defensive utility around the map with his cluster charges. But as you said, on the defense, Valkyrie is going to be our first banned out operator, as that vertical gameplay and the information you gain from her utility is just so strong, Puffer.
Now, the last one I can imagine is going to be an operator, a jack of all trades. We can imagine a Fenrir, we can imagine Azami, we can go for anything along the likes. Even a castle. You know what? I can even expect a castle to be banned out here from Turks as they win with Blackbeard, which is quite traditional alongside the Border. And for the final one, the Melusi. Again, a jack of all trades, gets information, slows opponents down, and also brings some artillery with that MP5 without a doubt. So going into round number 1, we're going to be seeing how these teams tend to adapt to each other, because keep in mind, this is a best of 1. There will be no second chances besides these rounds that you are currently being handed. So make the most out of it you can, Turks, because currently you're rocking the first half on defense.
Yeah, and just to put into context as well, the map pool at the moment is incredibly balanced outside of a few different maps. So this map in particular is going to come down to who's feeling it more. As we spoke about before the game started, it's all about who can lock in earlier into the round. This map in particular promotes people taking fights early, and you need to make sure that you're warmed up and ready for these games. Otherwise, you can start to lose. How do I say this? A few different rounds can end up stacking against you very quickly if you're just not mentally in the right headspace. So hopefully both of these teams prepped and ready to get this game underway, as if they're not, we might see one of these teams start to run away with it very early.
Absolutely, but if both of them aren't necessarily ready in the capacity, maybe we're going to have an exchange of them. That's the wonder of Siege weekend, and now absolutely we'll see right now going in front of us. Turks, Snakes, let's see who will take round number 1. As taking a look at the lineups a bit more deeper, again, we talked about it, information, post-plant denial even with the Goyo, seems like smoke won't be accounted for, but currently the Mute will be the best one to deny that information from the attackers. Legion, Fenrir, Azami will be the ones to gain it, and most of all, stop those pushes and stop any aggression, which again, Border is aggression incarnate. Now, taking a look at Snakes, we're seeing a bit of a thumbs down, at least for me personally, and I think we can all know which operator I'm talking about.
Yeah, Rooney's going to hop on the Monty, and he's going to look to be that massive mountain on the attack to push back this defense. I'm particularly interested where they want to send the Monty in. You've got Salim the Dream posted up towards this east side with his Kiba barriers to try and waste a lot of time, waste a lot of that entry, or to deny that entry towards that east side. And look at this long angle Puffo held by Fate on towards this bunker position.
Oh, but you have to watch out for the cross right now going break side, as anyone trying to enter might be caught off guard. You see the arm, you see the elbow, you shoot, you don't connect, and the cheekiness from Turks will be leaving their bodies as snakes have now started feeling a bit more of that groove. Pushing east side, we see the Monty already making some sorts of advancements. Oh well, Gutter seems to be distracted by thin air just hanging above him. Now Pig's there, the zombie pixel will be absolutely deadly, and a C4 into your face, eating up that shrapnel, and Gutter here with an amazing opening.
And the problem is a lovely crossfire set up on east. The Shoxel's going to find another one as they're just denying this entry onto that east side. Rooney's going to finally find one back with the pistols. It all seems to be popping up on this east side.
Absolutely, Rooney with the secondary doesn't need no fancy ARs, nor SMGs to actually take it into accountability. Now going from below will be the buck. Now, of course, verticality of the Deimos isn't there. The skeleton key will be the best, but matters not as people are dropping. Heads are being capped, and currently Turks have found themselves in a 4v1 situation with the last one being bucked from below, only for Caesar to claim with the MP7 and win them out round number 1.
And Turks have done a phenomenal job of playing into the map. The attack did not have the tools they needed to deal with the crossfire setup between the rafters position and the long hallway. The problem is that crossfire, you need to displace these Kiba barricades, and they didn't have any soft or explosive destruction to get Salim the Dream out of that position. It was a pretty textbook play coming in from the Snakes. They went for the normal route of taking that east side, but unfortunately, they just didn't have the manpower between the 2-3 bodies they dedicated to taking rafters to make the defense uncomfortable. That lovely C4 as well from the mute to kick things off for the side of the Turks has obviously given them a huge advantage, and they've just retained that advantage by playing those crossfires. So a really strong start here, Puffo, from the Turks.
Absolutely. Now, taking those 1v1s, whatever you want to call them, I'm just happy to see a bit of nuance. Feint, stay on that Aurora as much as you can, and Turks bringing out the Solus will be an absolute daybreaker. Fantastic to see. Including that verticality on the side will be a necessity, and again, the lineup will be adapting to it. Of course, keeping in hand that these 3 operators are absolute powerhouses on the defense, mentioning the Legion, the Fenrir, and the Azami. The only switch ends up being the Warden and the Solus. Now, why that is, I can only imagine because of gun strength and alone, because Solus might be one of the best intel gathering and gadget denying roamers out there.
And one thing I really want to point out is this top floor hold coming in from the Turks is almost identical to the hold we saw previously from them. They've got pretty much a 5-man roam game here on this top floor. They've got nobody playing the site itself. It's because the verticality is that strong. There was an SI a long time ago where there's very much resemblance of this strat coming in from the Turks, where you can hold everything from above. They've dedicated all their resources into holding this top floor, but it seems like we're going to get a little fast push coming here onto Fenrir here, Puffo.
The Monty clearly wasn't fast enough, and that's why we have Blitz on the feet. Wheels no rolling, and all that comes down to this down V down situation. Now a 1-for-1 exchange. The second down here will be officially coming through with the R4C on lock, and all of a sudden Turks are starting to slowly fall behind with 1 player now less to what Snakes had to offer up.
Yeah, and after the initial dust settles, it's going to be Snakes to claim the man advantage. Somehow Guts has still got stuck here, Puffo.
Oh yeah, they're stuck. But currently, everyone's just waiting to push side directly. We have claimed a lot of the top floor, although Turks are still holding on to it nicely, as it is that primary objective.
Yeah, and this is where that vertical gameplay is going to be a little bit spread thin here. Only 1 player on the site. This is getting cheeky from Solus though here, Puffo.
Oh yeah, it is. Gutter's just waiting out for his timing. The peak is there in the meanwhile. It's all going down on south side. Gutter gets a kill. That will be a fantastic lock on, but it's all exchanged thanks to Werho, who has been absolutely dominant. But all matters not as he finds the triple. And the last one to stand in his way will be Gutter with a headshot. Does get the second. No, he doesn't. Just 1 HP. A single bullet could have delivered the final blow, but the SMG-11's ammo capacity does not suffice. The blast is down. There's the kill. The wall bang. You can call it. The final shot will be coming out from the attacking sides, as now we have an equalization.
And this is brilliant adaptation from the side of the Snakes. They've identified that there's an extension out towards that Brazil position, which is where Fenrir was playing. And they've identified that that guy's basically all alone, and he's prime time target to try and isolate to get the man advantage. It's brilliant work from the Snakes to use the crossfire between Breakdoor and the combination of the blitz to push this Brazil player out has rewarded them with the man advantage early. And the thing I want to give really good credit to is the reset in between. Although the Ashe has found a double kill and they've resulted in that 4v3 man advantage, they've taken the time to reset, stay far away from the remaining defenders, and make sure that the Turks have no opportunities of finding an equalizing pick in that round. The Snakes have made sure that man advantage stays forever in their favor, and then when you do that, it makes the game so simple. You can just trade out the remaining kills and the round is yours, and Snakes have done a great job of doing exactly that to claim their first attacking round here.
Look, how much of a huge arching back we must have seen from Gutter there, carrying his teammates in that round is absolutely exponential. But one player cannot do it alone in a team fighting game such as this. And Turks, well, they're going to be bringing out big guns. And when I'm talking about big guns, I'm talking about boomsticks. The Vigil Bashi coming out from Gutter, as Solus simply was not enough to really limit out his power. So he's going to be expressing himself in the fullest of ways with one of the better roamers this game definitely has to offer. And Snakes will be retreating from that aggressive side of the blitz onto the Monty yet again.
It'd be very interesting to see if the Turks want to give a light roam to this top floor. The bathroom hatch has been reinforced as well. Very often, if you've got this extended hole towards the top floor, you want to play with the hatch open in open area. It serves two purposes as well. You can fall off back to fight through it if the attack does come and clear you. Also, you can hold the sight window and hold that verticality yourself if you manage to retain office for the rest of the round. So considering that hatch is closed, I'm really hoping the Turks can just waste a bit of time on this top floor and then make their way back to the ground floor.
Early damage, blood may be spilled. No early blood to be killed, and we speak about it. That's going to be the opening for Rooney. And we take some of that Babe's damage. Now, the castle may have left you. The utility still down. That's what matters. That end game operator, the smoke, has used every single canister in their pocket. Now, continuing on, we see the team coming along together. The Monty may be in a bit of sphere. Just trying to peek out with a pistol. Definitely protected well by that shield. But the Vigil, Gutter takes a bit of it. Took his shot with the Baji. Didn't claim, but that's why he's there. And just as we speak of the devil, he shall be gone by the name of Rooney, who does get that beautiful exchange.
And Gutter's just thinking about it. Can he get aggressive? Can he try and make a play and get a pick back? As Turks are trying to make something happen, they understand they can't just sit back and sit in the sight, as Gutter will find one as we leave ourselves in a 3v3. He's going to be spotted up by the Osa here, however, Puffer.
Oh yeah, he's going to get spotted out. The shield is down nicely top east. We have seen that the attackers have progressed towards this east side in full. And now Turks may need to flush them out or just allow the Monty to get into sight, maybe bid him out. We see the C4 is going to be on the mute. Bodov is more than wealthy just to nicely chuck it down and get himself an extra pointer. The new KD ready on deck. No crossfire to deny it for sure. But oh, there's going to be one for fainting out Gutter. That's a nice little feint to this 2v3 situation currently on deck. Now vaulting out, the Monty doesn't get punished. There's still time left. Bodov may be your saving grace, and currently the attackers are focused one-dimensional. The down onto the smoke. You were wishing you could have reserved one of those smoke babes, but too late for it. Oh, just a bit of coverage. He gets it. Does it connect? Yes, it does. Even a possible pickup. You're being held hostage, but you peek away. Oh, Fate almost lost his life, but almost won't quite cut it. Another shield there for the second, and you need to find this 1v1, but you're simply not being careful enough of the shield, and you get taken out on the spot.
I really want to highlight Rooney in this round. This man is a shield merchant for those who don't know. If you ever watch the side of Snakes, or if you ever watch Rooney playing anything official, he is the shield merchant. 3 out of 3 rounds, now about to be 4 out of 4 rounds, he's been playing that shield operator. The thing I want to highlight about it though, is how aggressive he is with the shield. He's not afraid to drop the shield and get aggressive when he needs to. And he's found a triple kill out of it, I believe, in that round, to kick things off for the Snakes and to get that early round advantage. But once again, it's the discipline, Puffo, to accept that you have the advantage. You can now chill out. You can figure out what your next steps are, as they've executed every stage of the round perfectly here, Puffo. So really good stuff from the Snakes.
Look, Snakes are not a new incomer when it comes down to sneak attacks. Turks definitely tried to get in that full lineup on top floor with a Vigil and an extra one. The smoke failed with the gas canisters. The castle was the first one to be a victim to it, and in the end they fell one after another until the entirety of East was cleared, just enough to get that safe breach since the ace was secured and nicely precautioned till the very end of the round. They get themselves in, maybe they lose the Monty to the C4, but that's why that second shield of the Osa was absolutely stunning to see. And Well, Snakes, they already get the leverage back into their own hands, and they're looking to keep it. As we talked about, one thing, Amguns, is the consistency.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really hoping to see the Turks to make some adaptations. Snakes, I think, are going to be looking to use and abuse this shield round to round for round, and I think Turks need to start using the buddy system. Whippet was talking about this through EML. When you're going to be playing these extended roam games, it's really good to buddy up with each other, as Gus is going to fall, and this is the problem, there's nobody around to trade him because they're not buddied up with each other. So once again, Snakes are going to get an opening advantage very early into these rounds, as Turks basically outside his first round playing a 4v5 here, Puffo.
Oh, alrighty, it's a drive-by. Simply go in, get your order, and have an absolute feast. Snakes have already eaten up one of these players, just one big gaping hole, and it's now in. Turks losing out on that mute may not be the best, especially Gutter, who has been a force to be reckoned with, but Salim puts it back, and this is what we're talking about. It's kill for kill, and in the end, Turks managed to equalize it out, but it wasn't truly worth it. This is a gamble we should not be taking.
And this is so much better though. At least they've buddied up and traded each other, but Leech is going to get caught sleeping. But Bodov is just better. Lovely shot from him to hold on to this half-wall position here, Puffo.
Whack-a-Bodov is what we're playing. He peeks up, he peeks down, and next second you already have one of your players below. Snakes in the deficit of the man count, and a 3-2, not looking the greatest, needing to push and find these 1v1 escalations, because if you cannot ascend over to that EQ of the man count, you might as well simply give up the flasher there, maybe distraction defu even on the ground, and looking to get onto the case of Bodov, who has been having a sneaking suspicion that someone may be around. Random wallbangs, he even connects those. That sixth sense kicking in nicely.
And this is where Turks have responded so well to the pressure. They've doubled up with each other, they've made sure they can trade these kills back and forth, and now it's their turn to be disciplined. They understand they have this man advantage and don't need to peek. They can just set up this crossfire and fountain and wait patiently for the Snakes to push in.
That rotation made, be it for Bodov's exit or the crossfire, it works for both as Caesar gets the timing, and the last one falls for the same time. The MP7 clings to, so for the magazine, an absolute beauty for our eyes, as that will be another EQ 2-2 now.
What a round from the Turks. What a way to stop the bleeding and equalize up. We're only 4 rounds in here, Puffo Bob, and we've seen some amazing siege so far. The Turks and the Snakes, I think these guys are so evenly matched with each other, as they are both playing some amazing siege right now, as really well responded from the Turks. The Snakes were really building some momentum on their last 2 back-to-back attacks. They were winning these rounds convincingly, so it's really good to see that the Turks this time around have responded well, they've responded accordingly, but better yet, they've made the right adaptations. They've understood kind of what the Snakes are going for, sort of got into the flow of the game much better, and understood how they can deal with what the Snakes have been bringing.
Now, spicing things up, Turks have had some interesting operator picks up until now, some more common than the others, and Bodov definitely rocking an operator that's kind of a knight in shining armor for all of those clip farmers, without a doubt. The LB, the Scorpion, or the Shotgun both will suffice on a map like this, and Snakes just looking to counter it out because aggression is their way, and the name of the game will be the Blitz now. The attack is, I'm absolutely riled up to see them. Now, of course, we're not having any nuance to see the lead besides Bodov, of course, but Snakes, it worked out once, why not again?
And I really like the fact that Faint's hopped on Aurora. I really want to see good value out of her and how these teams are looking to cook this operator. But as you said, this adaptation by Boldov is really nice. The reason they've brought this Ela is to counter Rooney specifically. Try and post up a little bit better in the positions you're holding. Don't make it nearly as easy for Rooney to isolate these fights and get the attack into the map. So nice to see the Turks are thinking on their feet. The only problem is though, Salim the Dream once again over towards that rafters position. He is going to be a little bit isolated, so I'm really hoping they can double up with him to keep him alive on this east side a lot longer this time around.
Still, peeking out these Ami east side definitely doesn't show the best track record here for Turks, as this is where they have lost it out. But pushing through Blitz, not even a care in the world, just shooting with a pistol, and you can't decide who to go for. Intact, the hide is lost. Selim claims it, but Selim is claimed by Feint from the outside. Now this Raptor window proving to be an absolute blast here for the side of the attackers, as it may have been for one, but now it's coming down to these drops of blood, as bloodshed it will be, and a down to Bodov as he gets away with a robbery with the bag intact.
And as the dust settles just a little bit, it doesn't settle at all as Feint find ones, and Gutter's going to trade it right back, giving us a 3v2 advantage to the side of the Turks, as it's just popping off Puffo in this server.
It's absolutely popping off. Where are the fireworks? We need to celebrate moments like these, as Siege Call of Duty mixtures are absolutely to be celebrated as Shaxel turns another one down. The request has been denied, but Fate is still looking for a fight back, as shut down by Gutter with zero opportunity for a refrag.
And this is where Turks have cottoned on. They've settled into this game. Those first few rounds are always to get the nerves out of the way and just feel out your opponents. The bait from the Azami is amazing. She's understood that, and it was Salim that was playing on that long position. He's anticipated that Blitz is going to be pushing him from that rafters position. He's made it back to the half wall. And in that process, the timing is so good for the Legion to be swinging 90 to cover his retreat. The Turks have locked in. They have got their communication on point. They're timing these crossfires well. And now they've taken the lead. It's all on the Snakes to respond to this momentum that Turks have built. They've got now 2 rounds back to back, just like the Snakes did when they got their opening success, 2 rounds back to back. And it's all on the Snakes now to respond and put an end to that momentum to give us an even scoreline at 3-3.
How this game has felt like a match of ping pong as, okay, you have some momentum, you know what, I'll have some back. I'll catch it, I'll throw it back. You know, it has been going round for round, band for band, and both these teams either we're going to be having a 4-2 split and Turks can finally break the curse, or Snakes will be looking at a very decent defense, I'd say. If you can manage to get an EQ round, a very balanced out split, then whoever's heading over to the defense can expect to have just a tiny bit of a chance at maybe taking it home. As Snakes, I mean, none of these teams have been going 2-3 rounds in a row, but rather, again, 1 for 1.
Yeah, and this is where they've switched out the Vigil as well. They were kind of playing a very individualist style roam game that Snakes were punishing. Look at the setup difference this time around. They've got a lot of heavy importance on the utility and protecting that utility rather than trying to hold areas of the map and then falling back to their utility. They've got the combination of the Wamai and the Mirror, and the thing that worries me just a little bit is there's nothing on the side of Snakes like an Ash or a Kali. They've only got the Habana to be able to deal with these mirrors, so we're going to have to see how well Snakes can respond to that of heavy utility that Turks have brought out here.
Earlier, we were keeping a bit of an eye out to see some value out of that Aurora. Now the Sens has made its way into the roster, or rather their way into the roster. Picking out, going to be allowing easy entry, and that Mira might as well be gone, done, and dusted in any amount of moments. CC already secure, the foothold is completely ignored, and the Blitz is making a rush for it, and this will be a huge amount of ground covered.
And there's nobody holding Brazil this time around. So Blitz has always made his entry. He's not really achieved a whole lot, as this just wasn't being held by the Turks. So this Mirror is now going to be the next problem that the Snakes need to solve.
The Habana's going to be having some havenous moments as Caesar will be finding a shot onto your Blitz. The main shield, the metal plate, dropped and done, as that will be the opening in the favor of the defense, but will they continue to do so with it? It seems like this strategy, the rotation towards 90, will be denied by the Habana, but how much longer will that stand for as you lose your Dokkaebi in the process of it? Another one, trade Gutter, still a 4v3 situation, and Fate losing a lot of HP due to this black window of death, absolutely raining hellfire upon you, the shotgun for the finisher, and currently Snakes in a pile of bodies of their own teammates.
And Turks have done so well to adjust the strat. They've really pulled out the strat bot here to get things going, as there is full information on this Mirror, but she's going to make the smart call and fall away, as this is where Turks, they're showing their class, they're showing their expertise in their strat book, making it as difficult as possible, as Salim's going to find a lovely headshot as well. Buffer Bob, how are we letting shots like that come out from the defense?
Urko, he must be trembling in his boots right now, shivering in those timbers and whatever you want to consider it. He has absolutely zero idea where any of these defenders lies. It could be a nook and cranny, it could be the most obvious or the least spot, but you simply have no information. Gadgets are all about, everything is absolutely being blown, and you try to peek down, you try to fight a silverback gorilla, but unless there is 100 of you, you will fall to the hands of Turks.
And this is where, again, just coming back to that thing about the strategy, Turks have switched it up. They haven't gone for a traditional defensive hold of this top floor. You saw both of the Brazil walls reinforced, and it allows the player playing on the long Mirror to feel a lot more comfortable in that position. The castle barricade covers off the east side as well. The lack of explosives means there wasn't a whole lot the attack could do to counter that positioning and the setup that the defense brought. So by being untraditional, it's really worked out to the Turks' advantage, as it just seemed like a lack of information coming in from the Snakes. I think they were expecting one hold and got hit in the face with something different, because a lot of the time those default strategies At this level, people are going to be expecting you to bring, and they have a plan. But as Mike Tyson says, and I love this quote, everyone has a plan until you get hit in the face. And Turks have hit Snakes in the face in that last round with a strat. I don't think they were expecting it, Puffo.
For a second, I thought you were going to have a quote about pigeons, since Mike Tyson is very traditional of pigeons. But look, you know, get hit in the face, and you're going to be facing that 4-2 split. Currently, Turks will be now going onto the attack, and Wolverhamptons, I'm already spotting some major differences, especially when it comes down to executive operators.
Yeah, we've got a Sense, a Flores, and a Capital coming out here from the side of the Turks, and normally you only see like one of these three operators in the lineup, which is the more traditional approach. But I love to see that the Turks on their attack are going to be bringing a lot of utility to kind of counter the defense and try and maybe win this through the utility game rather than those straight up gunfights. So it's really cool to see there's a lot of utility in this lineup.
Positions from Snakes, call it Slytherin, but they're currently covering a huge amount of the map. Just this top floor advantage, they're not only going to be advancing toward that CC side, but alongside with it, they're going to be advancing towards victory in their possible third round. It may not have been secured yet, but this is definitely a good step towards it, as right outside the window stands another challenger. The floor is drawn there, the Rotero going to be popped, and the Legion looking for some trouble, and so he gets, Fate runs out, he finds a duo amidst all this chaos, and Gunner is looking to repeat the same action, but mirroring that type of aggressiveness, you simply won't. It's put down like a dog. But inside of Prophet, an absolute mechanical giftness from the side of Snakes, as they have bit down, injected poison, and taken out 4 players of Turks.
And this is going to leave Shuxel all alone in the 1v4 situation, as Feint single-handedly just getting aggressive, getting a spark going for the Snakes, as just absolute demon play coming up from him, leaving Shuxel all alone here.
Oh, I felt that. What an absolute moment for Feint to be alive. He saw it, he heard it, the sense was there, but so were those shots absolutely ridiculous. In the end game, Turks with 1 player left. This is going to be a staple pillar to keep that 2-round lead. Beautiful headshot. It will count for 1. Are you good enough for an extra 3? That's where the bingo board needs to start getting ticked off. And unless Snakes are going to be falling victim to your 417 time after time after time again, and will feel a bit too confident to the point where they bring you into a 1v1 situation for the final, I doubt this tends to go their way.
And the Snakes have decided they're not going to give anything else up here. They had full information on what Shuxel was up to, as he's going to try his best with the utility he has in pocket to get something going here, as the Legion Mine's not going to make it ideal for him either here, Puffo.
No, it won't. He jumps in. He thought he was going to be able to bait it up. But again, you're taking a gamble. Will you be swing? Will you be swung? Will you be the one to do the action? Or, of course, will in the end, how much more sense the gadget will it take before you actually manage to find some sort of escalation? Rooney there with the C4. Like we said, the nuke is out. Some smiley faces all around the board to just show the happiness of the side Snakes as they claim their third.
That's so cold from the Warden. He basically had nothing to do the whole round because they never got to the site. So he's drawn a little smiley face on the lockers in the Africa position. It's so funny. That's awesome. As the C4 will find its mark. It's I think we heard the C4 getting ripped as well. And Shuxel knew they needed to get out of there, but he's missed the window ledge, which is very unfortunate. But that C4 will find its man. And this is exactly what Snakes needed. What a response from them to find their way back into this game. They will cut the deficit in half. But what more to say other than Feint just decided, look, this round is mine. I'm going to take it by the scruff of the neck, and I'm going to go kill everybody. As rewarded by his aggression, rewarded by that lovely double kill, running out of that east side. And unfortunately for the Turks, they just didn't have enough gas left in the tank to try and clutch it out. But we've got such a good game on our hands here.
Oh yeah, we do. This is what we want to see from Voltage League, and we can expect much more of it when we get to that second and that third match today. So again, invite your friends, get some people on, even bet. You know, I don't condone betting, but as long as everyone gets to see these, that's where the fun begins. Now taking a look at Turks, again, the attack may not have been the best, thanks to Feint, who absolutely stunned us all. But now going into round number 8, we could be seeing some changes as if again, we're going to be having these round-to-round trade-offs be as religious as they were in the first half. And one of these operators that I'll be terrified to play against from Snakes will definitely be the... how do I forget the operator's name?
I mean, you got to give me some information on who you're talking about.
Okay, well, we're going to do a quiz. We're going to do a quiz. So the operator has a drum.
Operator has a drum?
A drone, not a drum.
Drone. The operator has a drone. Oh, Brava. Brava or
Bing,
Twitch
bing, bing.
is the two you're talking about. As these operators are extremely common on a map like Border. There's so much utility that can be especially stolen away by the Brava. So I think they must have spotted out the use of Fenrir. Brava is one of the more reliable counters to the Fenrir because, generally speaking, wasting all of your nade utility, for example, just to clear some of these Fenrir positions out is not really worth it. So that's why you're seeing Bodov hop onto this Brava and the Twitch. They're basically looking to target the Goyo and the Fenrir, as Fenrir is going to fall very early this time around, as these is going to kick things off for us. That's why you've got these drone operators on the side of the Turks to deny or basically try and counter all of this utility that the defense are bringing.
The attackers have taken into realization the time is being clicked off the clock. Currently, Snakes have lost a player, and a second almost to follow. When he doesn't fall, what extra bullet? It could have been so close, millimeters away, even nanos for what? But the Warden keeps his life intact, gets away with an extra chance, and the second one, he might as well use it as best as he can, because right now, the rest of your roster, Snakes upstairs are being mauled, but the main attraction will be this backside coming in, and especially, your site needs to be well protected.
Jackson's got the case all the way over towards the east side. And just looking at aggressive, Oryx just doesn't care. He's going to keep swinging, try and get the man advantage back to even. As it seems like after they lost that opening kill, or sorry, since they've got that opening kill, Turks are taking their sweet time to cook something up for us here, Papa.
Let's put it back to see where it is. Snakes may feel a bit more discombobulated, trying to gain a bit of traction going into this one. As Fade, here he goes, the star, the absolute player, and while we speak of him and so he falls, I'm sorry, Fade, didn't mean to curse, but these will be the ones to bring you down. As now, keeping up the consistency, Turks, but they will always have one player above, and that's that main objective of a refrag game.
I think Gutter knows that there's a player up here. He's just patiently waiting in Armory for this Solis to come hunting for him, as we're going to spot one out through the vert as well, and this should be Solis's cue to get a move on, and she's going to find her gunfight too as the bomb's going down here, Puffer.
Oh, the case is being planted already halfway through the shotgun from above, and we're gonna have a move on as Shox will use that verticality against you, spots you on midfield, and takes his shot, definitely connects it nicely, well protected by that window, gets it down, it will be stuck, and now with the time limit for the defense, you're starting to have a taste of your own medicine. So many people on low HP, but Shox needed only one bullet to finish the job, as of course, look, Turks, the LFO will not be giving up just yet.
What a round. Like, what a round. I thought when Feint got aggressive, it was going to be a little bit dire for the Turks as they were running low on time, but they've snuck the buck in through customs to make sure they find that trade. And once they've cleared that vertical gameplay as well, the Dokkaebi getting in above was the huge go for the side of the Turks. As Dokkaebi, I'm sure she's basically said to her team, look, I have the vert, you don't have to worry about it, just take the fight on the site. They had the numbers to do so as well. But you've got to say the hero of that round was the Ace. Somehow finding the Solis on the counter reverse angle through the vert the Solis was making is insane stuff. If Solis finds that kill, it's a completely different round. The whole point of that vertical control was to deny the plant as such. So by finding the Dokkaebi, she could have single-handedly won the round, but I've got to say, it's an amazing hero play coming out from the Ace. You know, if you're hitting shots like that, what is the other team supposed to do?
They accept it. What do? You simply watch and maybe learn. The Turks have been a bit more adaptive, you could say, rather than Snakes who are starting to slowly fall behind, being sent back to the hole they came from. And currently the 5-3, one more round in the favor of Turks, and we're going to be having ourselves on match point very soon. Hopefully Snakes won't allow it. Again, they get this round, the next one, it's all simple and easy, but that's definitely a lot easier to say than it is to be done. The Oryx will be a very interesting operator, and especially with the hatch play, is a fantastic choice to see. But currently Turks will still keep up their drones, Roteros if not Witches and what else not. And currently the best way to counter out a castle and Azami being on Shoxel.
But the Snakes are bringing very similar lineups for all three bomb sites. The Turks had a much more of an in-depth strat book. Coming out full border, they had seemed a lot more organized on their defense. I want to highlight Romotov. He's picked Oryx pretty much every round here. And Oryx is a very selfish operator. Doesn't provide a whole lot of value, as we saw him getting good value out of the operator with the making rotates and things of that nature, but he doesn't provide a lot in terms of utility, and he's extremely selfish. And I just think, like Snakes, they need a little bit more utility. As look at this from the Turks, I think they've identified this waiting room is just completely free, as they're already knocking on the door to site here, Puffo.
Oh no! It seems like the Mute has exposed themselves, and currently that's going to be giving off that sense that someone may be on the lookout, but perfect timing, and you've got yourself into the default plant corner, going for the C4 yet again. Chuck, does it land? No, it doesn't! It wasn't placed carefully, nor was it thrown at the correct angle, and these are claims, these are is claimed. We speak of the present. Let's see what gunfight this will go. The SMG-11 up close to the UP-45 for 2 in the prior, and East is going down. Bodoh still fighting against it, so does Gunner, and down to a 2v2 spot, as of course none other than the man, the knight in shining armor in the movie. Bodoh will take every single live under his belt.
And the Turks here have gone for a smash and grab, and they've got away with it. The side of the Snakes have gone for a extremely traditional lineup, and it's been read into perfectly by the Turks. There wasn't enough pressure to deny the entry on the east side, so the Turks have gone, thank you very much, we'll take the free real estate. But the biggest thing that's killed Snakes here is the lack of angles horizontally across the site. The normal way that this strat is countered is there's normally massive lines of head holes all the way across the site walls to give you angles onto the default plant from the ventilation side. That gives you options to drop from the top floor into workshop to then be able to deny the plant. Also, you can then deny the plant from customs as well. But unfortunately for the Snakes, they didn't have any of that set up in place. So they've had to get aggressive and had to try and retake that east position. The problem is the Turks were set up and ready for it. Although the initial frags went towards the Snakes' favor on that retake, the remaining players of Turks were cemented in their post-plant positions and just cut down the retake. So it's brilliant IQ from the Turks to read into that strat with a pretty much flawless execute coming in and a not so flawless post-plant, but they do get the round over the line, and they're going to be claiming match point to kick things off here in Voltage League.
The golden age for Turks has struck, and then in order to counter it out, Snakes will be using that timeout. Whatever chat they had, whatever momentum they have paused, and that sort of rhythm that has now been put on shut as of current, Turks will feel it. Snakes, in the meanwhile, will be looking to adapt, and this may be one of those early times that Amguns, we're seeing a bit more of a different operator lineup from the side of Snakes to try and counteract whatever Turks have been putting down.
And I really like this. We're bringing so much more utility to try and slow down the Turks. We've got the Mira, we've got the Azami, and the Goyo, all extremely good operators in slowing down your opponents, using the clock to your advantage. My only gripe with it is we've got nothing to protect the Mira. That's my only little thing that I'm a little bit annoyed about, is without bringing a Jaeger or a Mai to just double up on this utility gameplay like we saw from the Turks. But generally speaking, I'd much more prefer this approach by the Snakes. My only concern is it too little too late? Should they have made this change a lot earlier when their more TDM style of gameplay wasn't working out for them?
Turks, oh, this is going to be huge value off of that Twitch drone, and no one's really catching an eye up on it. The Legion going to be spotted. The main cams, I imagine they're going to be gotten to in any matter of seconds and times. Everyone's just so focused on holding down their angles that little do they know, everything right next to them, all this defense they put down, this whole fort is being crushed underneath their very own feet. Not only Miras, not only Goyos, but players alike, as Bodoh will be finding one. That's the Goyo, speak of it, the cancer is well gone, and another one for the count. Overco. No more Azami Kiba barriers for the side of Turks, or rather for Turks to fight against. They've definitely secured themselves an easier path. But Snakes, this is your possible last round. What will you do to counter it out?
They have to get aggressive. The only way you find a way back into this round is you can't expect the Turks to make mistakes at this level. They've got to get aggressive and try and find some picks somewhere. Otherwise, they're going to be losing this game 7-3. And this is where I think the experience of the Turks, they are notorious for loving this map. We didn't talk about it earlier, but this map is so well drilled by the Turks. They've played it time and time again, and their experience is showing. They are picking apart these common positions as and when they like, as Thieves is going to find one as well, as it's all left down to Fate and Profit here.
An extra egg in the basket, as one would be returned, but it's not official and done and dusted. The C4 again! Snakes, we keep on missing those, and your last comrade is to fall. Hand in hand, you try to find it off. The headshot onto the Monty will connect, but a 4v1 situation, and none other than Salim will deliver the coup de grace. And while Turks and Labo, they are looking for absolute dominance, is what I say, and winning it out 7-3.
Yeah, this is a phenomenal round. Phenomenal game overall coming in from the Turks here, as they've completely closed out border, almost speed running this map, as their experience once again as a roster pretty much unchanged for almost a year now we're coming up to. I started watching them last November when they were qualifying for things like Rainbow Rumble. This roster is no joke. They used to be Besiktas. They are phenomenal when it comes to border. As any teams coming up against the Turks in the future, I think it's fair to say, don't take them to border, as they looked phenomenal in that game. And it's just the value they get out of the operators that work on the Twitch, especially in that last round. But I think to give credit where it's due, we did see some amazing gameplay coming out from the Snakes as well. There was rounds, especially that 2 rounds back to back, the Snakes had earlier in the game. They showed some real class. So I think we've really got to keep an eye on the Snakes as well, as with more time and as more this roster of the Snakes play together, the better the roster they're going to be. But in this particular game, outclassed, unfortunately, by the Turks, as Turks are going to start things off with a bang, taking a 7-3 lead here to kick things off in the Voltage League group stages, or group stage.
Group stage. I mean, let's talk about it. From a bang to a boom, we will transition as the next match. Oh, Wild Multigaming versus Valor Esports. That's another kicker you really want to stay around for. Again, stay tuned because it's about to get even better. Make sure to share it all around. But before we continue, I mean, M-Guns, I think I need a bit of hydration. I think we all need a bit of a snack, a bit of a break. So right before we get to the next match, let's allow these players to get in comfy and let's allow you to take a bit of a break. So we will be back with you in just a moment.
See you soon.
Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
And here, live at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, we make some more. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Invitational 2025.
Boston, are you ready to make history? Game number 1 begins now!
It is Haas Company Academy! It's a one-team!
We can't quite see the punt. Oh, it did! A beautiful first! Cyber isn't going to let him just sit on this. Oh, brilliantly played!
It seems like Furia might just have numbers, but they've lost a couple. And Philippe Fossey, the BDS steal that round for Furia. He's working a triple for Dream. It's all up to Nate and Philippe Fox now. Numbers in a disadvantage for them. And Nate is on the floor.
Pressurization complete.
First map looks to be locked on to be theirs. Winning out the 1v1.
Unbelievable stuff from the Brazilian. It's all up to
He's
base.
been here before. He's got to step across. It's all about this 1 versus 1. He wins it out. Rene's going for the plant. Cyber's got 3. We're down towards this last 30 seconds.
King is manoeuvring here.
Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going up Tim. Finally finds himself down now. Users has got to clutch up big.
Andy, let's see if the swing.
The waiting. Solotov's down. Rene's off. He's also down.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're going to have our second game of Voltage Series in the group stage coming up. And hopefully, as the weather's getting nice, you guys have been enjoying the longer hours of sunshine, especially if you're from the UK. But Puffer Bob, apparently it's not so nice where you are.
Guns, it's dark. I can look outside my window and I'm going to see skinwalkers biting down on my cats. Like, this is pitch darkness. I'm in the void. I don't know where I am. And, well, it may be sunny for some. For me, it is as dark as it gets.
I was going to say, we've been having lovely 19, 20-degree weather. Summer is almost upon us, but it sounds like, Puffer Bob, that sunshine hasn't quite reached you just yet.
No.
So that's very, very unfortunate. But less yapping. Let's talk about the next game we've got for you guys today. It is going to be Wild Multi-Gaming versus Valor Esports. I've had the pleasure of casting Valor Esports before. There's been a lot of contention, a lot of attention on Valor recently due to their performances in the LC and how well they've been playing. But Wild Multi-Gaming are no slouches either. So hopefully this game is just as much of a banger, Puffer Bob, as the last game we got to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it may be dark outside, but I think this is going to be the sunshine for my current mood. And again, like you said, Wild and, of course, Valor Esports. Who do we have taken today? Firstly, let's go over the map as... Drum roll, please. It will be Bank. M-Guns, opinions. We need those.
I love this map. This is another one of those maps where it's actually become more attacker-sided in recent times. I think the basement is still as strong as ever, but especially on the mid-floor and the top floor, a lot of the attacking sides in and around T3, T4 have really figured out how to attack those particular bomb sites. I think there's a very established meta as well on this map, which makes for very interesting things. We saw Turks in that first map kind of putting their own little twist on the kind of meta, if you like, of how these sites are held. So I'm really hoping we see glimpses of that from these teams on a map like Bank. Unfortunately for Bank, a lot of the rounds play out in very similar ways. So if we can see some innovation or something cool, that'd be really, really nice on Bank.
I think these teams can really bring the craft. And, well, speaking of the teams, who will we be presenting these two? Well, today for the side of Wild, it's going to be Hotska, Falcon, Slayer, Pichu, and Jux. On the side of Valor will be Dusk and Dennis, Framework, Eni, and Chi-Chi, presenting a bit more recognizable names. And again, for me personally, I'm just wondering, we have these beautiful names, we have these fantastic teams, but I imagine we also have some predictions to show.
We do indeed. As let's see who the favorite's going to be coming into this game. And this time around, it's much more even between us on the production lot. I've got Valor to win this. You've got Wild to win this, Puffo. So each of us thinking this game is going to go a different way. And I've got to watch both of these teams before. I believe, don't quote me on this, both are playing in ELC, as I'm pretty sure that's where I've watched both of these teams play. And both of these teams are extremely capable of playing some really, really good Siege and providing some real entertainment for us to watch. And maybe we'll learn a thing or two as well from both of these teams there, Puffo.
You know what? Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. That's for up to them to decide. And before we're going into Bank again, I'm really getting excited. Now, let's talk a bit more in depth about the map. What do you think is going to be really the staple kind of operator bands? Let's get a bit of a gamble going. You know what, M-Guns, what operator bands do you think will be coming out?
I can almost guarantee you Blackbeard will be banned out.
Oh,
The
yeah,
state of
yeah.
Siege right now is very, very interesting as Blackbeard's gone from being almost neglected by the competitive scene to absolutely the menace, the Baba Yaga, if you like, of the competitive scene. As nobody wants to play this guy, nobody wants this guy in the lobby. He is almost 99% of the time being banned out. So I can almost with 90. You know how on like alcohol bottles they still kills 99.9% of bacteria. That's like the
Yeah.
Blackbeard ban right now. It's like 99.99999% of the time this guy is banned out. So I'm really hoping, a Deimos ban would be very interesting, or a Dokkaebi ban. There's a lot of importance on the roam game. On a map like Bank, there's a lot of importance on claiming the vertical gameplay for the defensive side. So I'm hoping to see maybe one of these teams deciding to make it more difficult for their opponents and themselves to take control of that vertical gameplay. But what about the defensive bans, Puffer? What are you hoping to see on the defense?
There's a lot. There's a lot to pick from, and my major picks, honestly, it's going to be down to, I feel like the Kaden Tubarao is going to be one of those. And the other one, I'm thinking Mira, I'm thinking Valkyrie, I'm thinking a lot of those type of operators where, again, it's going to be Intel based. And at the same time, it really tends to be picked a lot. Maybe even the Goyo. Honestly, I'm expecting a possible Goyo as well. He gets used a bunch on maps like these. So again, we did even see him on Border. While these are not the same teams, I can imagine that they have the same thought process when we go into a competitive map pool like this, especially Bank, which gets shut down. And another little add-on, M-Guns, if your picks on the attack will not be correct, another addition I would like to add personally would be execution operators. The Capitao, the Ying, maybe even the Sens. I think especially they outshine on that bottom side and honestly on any side they get to be played.
Yeah, Ying is, I think, really under-repped right now. I love the value you get out of a Ying. It's that chef's kiss indeed.
It's chef's
And
kiss.
she, especially on that, even on top floor as well, if you're looking to get in through the CO windows, she is one of those operators that enable you to do so. I've coined them agents of chaos. We've people called them enablers, execute heavy operators. They're all talking about the same thing. You need something in your back pocket to throw at the defense. The name of the game about attack is all about making defenders uncomfortable. You need to have a plan of action in mind, Puffo, of how you want your attack to go. And all of the operators we just mentioned give you that something extra just to help you get that plan over the line. So both of these teams hopefully will be thinking about what's the most effective tool the attack can use against us and plan accordingly around the ban of whichever option out of the many options we've just presented the attack might be bringing against them.
Absolutely. And well, you know what I'm loving about these matches today? We're having ourselves some maps that are a bit more unique. Normally you're expecting Shelly, or expecting Clubhouse, Nighthaven, basically the replaces for Borrigan. This time around, we had ourselves Border, and then the next one right now will be Bank. So I'm really satisfied with the maps we're currently getting. Again, it's also going to be quite a unique change from such a compact map, a real cube of aggression, all the way to this huge expansion of Bank that absolutely allows strategy. You really need to be down to that intel gathering, especially so wary of roamers and see how it counterplays with each other's strategies. Again, this is going to be from 0 to 100 on each spectrum, and I'm interested to see how Bank is going to be playing out, as of course these teams, they have yet to surprise us. This is group stage number 1. We have not seen their talented voltage, and we have not seen their current present state, so I'm excited for it. I'm saying that while they're going to take it, maybe they look like an underdog due to the powerhouses that, of course, Valor bring, but who doesn't love an underdog story?
And the other thing I want to point out is here on Voltage League, we've got really balanced maps. I don't know, Puffer Bob, if you got to catch any of the EML playoffs over this weekend just gone. We saw a lot of Consular, Skyscraper, these really deeply defender-sided maps that it makes sense why teams were going to them. Because they're so defender-sided, you can basically just bunker down and make things extremely difficult. And it's a lot easier to do that because the map lends itself to that style of play. But we had Border to kick things off in our last map. We're going to Bank, which is extremely even between the sides. I think most people would say it's slightly in the favor of the attack because 2 of those 3 sites, people have kind of clocked how to play them, if that makes sense. But we've had a much different approach from these T3, T4 teams compared to what we saw in EML over the weekend. Did you get a chance to catch any of the EML over the weekend?
Look, I've been currently dealing with my PC, and I've been dealing with the nightfall outside my window that sadly I did not catch the time, but I'll make sure to get back on it. I'll make sure to give him a bit of a look. I promise I'll do my homework, M-Guns.
You're lucky. You're lucky that there is going to be more playoff games coming this weekend. So this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to figure out which two of our teams make it into EML, which is really exciting times. It's also extremely exciting that we've got T4, T3 tournaments like Voltage League happening alongside it. So there is so much Siege out there for people to enjoy, which is lovely to see that the effort being put in by the community to get these events rolling and going. So it's really nice that we've got stuff to watch while we await EML, and obviously we've got the Reload event coming up soon as well, Puffer.
Yes, I was just about to mention we're coming around the corner for the Reload event. I'm so excited for it. I want to see the bands. I want to see how competitive teams bring it. But competitive teams we need to see today in action, and going into none other than Bank. Today will be Wild, will be Valor, facing off the predictions 50-50 from staff side. But will that come to fruition as now we head into round number 1 again? Face to face. We've seen a fantastic match earlier, and we're expecting something like it this time around.
And let's see if any one of our lovely predictions comes true. As now we get into the server, this is where it starts to get serious for both of these teams. I think Wild starting out on their defensive half. Excuse me. I would be looking to make the most of that defensive half. The more rounds they can rack up, it is statistically a 50-50 map. So we'll have to see if that scoreline decides to come true.
And well, the bands. One of them will be the Blackbird, like you said. No one likes him. No one enjoys this operator. So get him out of here. As following, or the second, will be none other than the Grim. The Grim is an absolute menace. We love to see this operator in action. And of course, we love to see what he can pull off, but not today, as we're going to be heading into Bank for a bit of difference and maybe more spots for Ying to claim.
Yeah, it is going to be the Grim banned out. So one of those enabling operators are going to be taken off the board, as Mira going to be taken off the board as well. Really interesting pick coming out from Valor Esports. The Mira on this particular map, top floor, mid floor, and the basement. That Mira can be extremely strong. So seeing her banned out as well makes a lot of sense, I think, Puffo.
It definitely does. For the last one, we will be seeing the face of Valkyrie leave us yet again. Earlier, we saw a bit of Mira. We're going to get rid of that. But the Valkyrie and Blackbeard have still not had their chance. They're the counter packs that were released on the same date. And, well, on the same time, in this day and age, they will also be leaving the tally. Going into round number 1, we can already take a look at these lineups, and it's getting a lot more interesting because I'm seeing some operators that I love so much, and I hope it stays like this because we have the Fuse, we have the Maestro, the Echo. Oh, how much better can it get?
And we spoke about it earlier. That's exactly where I got the hint from. It's Valor Esports using that Fuse tech to clear a lot of the utility that can be stacked up towards that server side, as we are going to be going down to the basement first. And look at the defense. This is something I want to highlight. Look at the amount of drone game coming out from the defense. They've got the Echo and the Maestro to try and give them as much information as possible on where that execute might be coming in and where they need to position themselves to repel that attack accordingly, Puffer.
Absolutely. And well, as it is the first round, again, this is not going to be the same team we were previously announced with. So they're going to need to get used to each other a bit more. Wild and Valor both going in. And again, the Goyo will be something I'm really looking forward to see. And as long as, of course, coming down to try and deny that plant will be the smoke joined with it. Of course, you want to reserve those babes because the Goyos, I imagine, are going to be popped quickly into the Twitch. And also the Fuse.
Yes, and as I said, that Fuse is one of those key operators that can deny a lot of utility, but they're going to hop straight in here, Puffo.
We're going to hop straight in, and this is going to be a bit of aggression already early on. Everyone's looking to catch some strays, and we do have some shots. A bit of a pre-fire here would be looking wonderful, but we don't like those shields. And look at what Fuse has brought us. Needs that secondary. The gadget matters most. The flash is there. You push through, but another is claimed by the side of the MP7. The second with the Vector, and already Wild have definitely been showing, you could say, a Wild performance, one included.
And we've still got a couple of players hanging out towards this mid-floor, but this is a lovely way to kick things off for you, as I really want to see Wild here just fall back to the site. Don't give Valor Esports any chance of getting back into this round, and they've done exactly that. This is a lovely rotate back to the site. You've got both Echo cams, and this is where you can really lean into that camera utility to make it as difficult as possible for Valor to get anything going. A little bit of a pocket strat to try and get aggressive on this open area really hasn't worked out, as they've been shut down completely by Wild. So really nice extension onto the mid floor, paying off wonders here for Wild.
Oh, well, let's see. The rotation coming out from the defense. They're going to be knowing what these attackers are up to. They're going to have to force themselves down to a one-dimensional push. This Maestro might be a bit of a blunder for them right now. The Maverick making some holds, windows of opportunity to possibly catch a kill, and maybe even a bit of a punch through into the armor of Wild. But currently, they're still standing strong, holding down to sight and making sure all is tight and secure.
And look at the amount of utility that's left. Now that you've lost the fuse, you don't really have the tools you need to clear a lot of this utility, and you've got worse yet. You've got 5 guns staring at your only way into the site with not a lot of utility to make anything happen. This fire is going to keep on burning, keep winding down that clock, as well they're going to do everything in their power to use that clock to their advantage here, Papa.
Oh, look at Wild. They're going to town. And in the meanwhile, we're going to be having a bit of a revenge from the side of Valor, looking and seeking for that so-called vengeance. They do get themselves a pickup onto one of those kills, but one more needed for similarity and a possible outcome in their victory. The plant going down, but the smoke still has some shots. And talking about shots, that's going to be Dennis with one of his own throwing it down. The smoke being claims. And in the meanwhile, it's ticking. You gambled it all away, but the timing was there, and the line manages to escape. But the Maestro has fallen down to his knees, bent it nicely. And the 2v2 has not the post plant here. Need to play off of hatch off of each other. It's going to be major, but I don't think it's going to be as possible as you may seem it to find. Right now, Valor have gotten themselves a golden opportunity. You still give him space. Shots onto the Echo. He cannot find any type of momentum to go for this defuse. Everyone's sticking together, going for it. And shots as well. Dennis claims. And the last one from the side of blue. And the first round will be the attackers after a miraculous comeback.
This is a smash and grab coming out from Valor here, as they had no business winning the round, but they find the kills, they find a way to get the kit down and claim the round to kick things off, start their Voltage League group stage in a really good fashion, claiming the momentum on their side, as they just brute force their way into the site. They've got that kit down, and unfortunately from Wild, it's just not good enough. You've got to be able to deny this with 5 bodies on the board, but give credit where it's due. Valor kicking things off for us in a spicy way.
In a spicy way indeed, and adding that salt to the wound, rubbing it in as the first round will be delivered. Valor definitely proving themselves, and even in a situation some may have deemed unwinnable, they came out on top, rised, and very nicely managed to escalate the situation in their own pivot. I love the fact they brought about it. They get 1 kill upstairs, a bit of cheekiness from Wild to be punished and played off of, and in the end, that's how the cookie crumbled. And although I'm just, as much as I'm hoping that Wild don't repeat that mistake and learn off of their own imbalances, Valor, they're looking golden.
Yeah, they're looking very, very good indeed. As this is going to be a repeat in the strategy coming in from Wild, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, you started off the round in a really, really good way, and it was just a little bit of a fumble coming towards that late part of the round. So I think repeating the site in this particular situation is not a bad way to go. But if you look at the lineup of Valor, I think they're going for a little bit of a pocket strat. This time around, they've got a much more aggressive lineup coming in, Puffo, with the Blitz, the Amaru, and the Deimos, and the Sense as well. I think they're looking to go fast, looking to get aggressive, as they're already into lobby here, Puffo.
Oh, they're picking up that velocity, but of course everyone needs to do their homework. Get your notepad out, start scripting things, and make sure that every single corner is to go checked. Any unchecked ones may be the saving grace for this defense if they manage to play off of it correctly, but the Deimos will be on their move. Currently, the can opener going to be on that main wall on the top floor that you really need to keep shut as much as long as you can, just to make sure that these main stairs are not exposed. But the Maru is going to be the comfort pick, and already hatches open as everyone from Valor is looking to pile down onto Wild.
Yeah, and I think they've identified that there's extremely strong open area extension, and they've read into this beautifully, as I think this is going to be a very heavy lobby execute coming in very, very quickly, and they've got the operators to support that push as well. They've got that Duskin on the Blitz to look to get aggressive, but there's an Echo Cam patiently waiting, as look at this read from the defense. Wild have figured out this is a lobby take, as I don't think Valor Esports have got that element of surprise they were looking for anymore.
No, not much longer. They have definitely revealed their position, and currently no one to be left behind. If you jump down, the Sense will maybe just cover it up for an extra second, but the second you drop, that's going to be the gas just flushing you out, forcing you into a position that may not be the most comfortable. The Blitz trying to flash, find any type of saving grace, but sadly, they won't be coming through, and it's just an unfortunate position as, of course, everyone is going down, and even more as Duranis just simply does not stop. 3 to 5, again, 2 have fallen, and Wild are already looking at a minus of 2. It's not looking great. It's just gonna get worse by a single time. And now having to rotate upstairs, maybe go for a flank, but everyone has been shut down outside of sight, battling back against it, simply getting one, not the second. And in a 1v4 spot, the Blitz will come around swinging heavily with that pistol whip.
And it's all about Valor Esports right about now, as they are flooding their way into the site. They're doing a great job of finding the kills they need to get that entry into the bomb site. And as I said, it's all down to the operators they're bringing. They've got the sense to allow them to drop. They've got the blitz to have that cover when the drop does come in. And it's phenomenal work from them to just brute force their way in. They are flowing in confidence. They're using the tools that they have available to them, as that lobby take worked out so well for them. Wild, they understood that it was a lobby take coming in from the attack, and they tried their best to adjust to it, but Valor Esports, they are running away with these first 2 rounds, and this is a Wild, they need to break this momentum to get around on the board.
Come on, Wild. Right now, you're showing a mentality of the fact that your race has already been ran, but Valor, they are keeping up with it. Like you said, Amguns, this is where Valor start picking up on that aggression. It may be a bit attacker-sided, but Wild, don't give up just yet. Some of these rounds have been absolutely relentless, and you've even had the upper hand in number 1 of this match. What matters most is the fact that Valor somehow got out of it, and now picking even more aggressive operators on certain decks. We saw the Nook for a second. Now we're going to be going to the Ram. Again, verticality is a major aspect of this site, and you want to make sure to lock down this top floor as much as you can, which is why I'm loving to see the combination of the Legion and Azami. But besides that, what will you do to stop the shields?
Yeah, and this is where we saw it in the last game as well. We saw an adaptation midway through the defense that Wild Gaming need to make the same adaptation. I think Duskin's going to be insta-locking those shields for the rest of his attacking path. And this is where I'm just a little bit worried that Wild Gaming haven't realized how important it is to deal with that shield gameplay. It's a pretty standard lineup, like there's nothing to fault with this lineup, and especially at T3, T4, you've probably dry runned your strat and have a lot of confidence that your strat is going to be adequate. So I don't blame Wild for not having those adaptations just yet, but look how aggressive Valor have been. They're almost knocking on the door to site already here, Puffo.
Oh, what are we doing here? Valor have taken so much ground possession, and meanwhile, also just keeping up this aggression. They are not giving Wild a second to think about their mistakes. No, they're just going to execute, be the judge, jury, and executioner. And looking to start it off, the plant is going down. The smoke babes will deny it. And a shot from Jacques as he does find Duskin in amidst all this chaos. But Dennis, always the one to be on the fragmented event, is already going 6-0 on his KD. Looking for those double digits in 3 or maybe even 4 rounds is definitely probability less than 0 chances to be had. We're going for the defuse. Second chance at it. Maybe it strikes now. The smoke has been taken out. That was an amazing exchange for the side of the attackers. We're looking to get close and personal. It doesn't work out, and then he shoots you down. Jacques will fall, and another one to be claimed in any second. Pity to the pity of the side of Valor. It's all left down. Hotka does try to contest it, but in the presence of this quantity, you simply cannot have enough quality to fight it off. And Dennis with the final shot yet again. This R4C being the real best friend to this man. And in the end, Valor find themselves a third already.
And this is a beautiful take coming in from Valor. They've understood that if they take top square, their flank is covered. The top floor roamers not having anything left in the tank to be able to regain that control. They had the blue flank covered as well with the ace making his way through basement. It's a really unorthodox take coming in from Valor, as normally we see a top floor sweep coming in for most of these teams, but Valor have gone direct. They've made it work. They went a little bit early with the Monty, as Duskin did fall early. They had the sense to give him that crossfire, or give him the cover to get onto that default plant. But no matter with the Monty falling, they've still thrown that sense gadget out. They've still managed to get the kit down as well. So Valor Esports reading into Wild strategy really well here. It seems like this might be a map that Valor have been prepping heavily, as Wild right now, they need to find a response. And unfortunately, Puffo, there's no Monty counter this time.
Nope. But what matters is that Valor have not locked in the Monty just yet. Maybe Wild will be getting away with it. Maybe their Smoke and Legion are the best ways for them to counter it. But currently, the fact that Valor just get in scot-free and find so many free get-out-of-jail-free cards, it is fantastic. The way they play is amazing, and Valor this time are going to be backing up the shield. Now, I'm wondering how much of an impact this will carry to their victory percentage, as switching it out for some very interesting picks, such as the Nook.
Yeah, we're going to probably send Nook all on her own to try and lurk into the map somewhere. The basement of this site does allow that option to be available for you, but that full top floor sweep is going to be the main strategy coming in for Valor this time around. So we've got Emi hopping onto the Ram as Nox already made her way, and she's got full info here, Puffo.
Full info here, just jumping up these stairs, and oh, that's gonna be Framework setting off some fire, and Pity will be the one to be buried down deep by that FMG, and Jax doesn't let off the fight yet, still keeping up with the steam. Duskin is the one to take the majority of that damage, and major ones that was, as you lose out on your major fragger, Valor.
Yeah, and as we move into the 2-minute mark of this round, it's going to be this top floor take coming in. We want to get this verticality going as soon as we can. So obviously we've lost the line, which is not ideal, but plenty of vertical gameplay on the Ram still available for Valor Esports. They've claimed this top floor with 2 minutes on the clock to basically now work their execute. The decision now has to come. Do we go kitchen? Very unlikely with no hard breach to open up that triple wall. Or do we want to go for a site hatch drop? It doesn't look like we've got any hard breach either to be able to open up these site hatches. So I think a little bit of a misplay in the lineup coming in for Valor here, as they're going to have to just try and find a way to brute force this, but they've been doing that ever so well. But this is Wild's best opportunity so far to get a defense on the board.
Valor's round count has been glistening and looking for Wild to maybe take those stars out of their eyes. This is that potential one. They've wasted a countless amount of seconds, and in the meanwhile, Valor have already started feeling that real pressure that Wild can bring once they work as a team. But currently, with no penetration, cracking the armor not to be found yet, Valor are really struggling to find their entry into sight, and it's not nearly as easy as it was earlier.
And this is where Wild Esports, you just bunker down in your positions. You've got the Azami to be able to build this fortress in the middle of the site. Not a lot of DMRs or abilities to clear this fortress either from the side of Valor. As we get lower and lower on time, Valor Esports are just going to have to decide 1, 2, 3, we're going to go for it, as that flashbang might just be the way they go in, Puffo.
Blindsided Slayer will take advantage of whatever is going down. Jax, another one to pop up on the kill feed, as in the meanwhile there's a return for one. The second can be stuck around, and in the end, Valor, that was your greatest chance of having any type of fight back. And Slayer, he dodges those bullets like he's Neo from the Matrix, and in the end shoots back harder than ever, finding the headshot before he himself is found. And the first round's going to the name of Wild.
And finally, they're on the board, Puffo. Wild have got themselves onto the board, as it was a great defense from them to hang on to that open area side. They've done a brilliant job of doing exactly that, using that fortress, using those crossfires to make it as difficult as possible for Valor to get themselves into the site. But I think they used and abused that 6th pick just a little bit too much, as they somehow forgot to bring any hard breach in that round. So Valor Esports making it slightly easier for Wild. But Wild did a great job of holding those crossfires, just being confident in their positions in the site, as they, in brilliant fashion, have finally got themselves onto the board. And it's very interesting that Wild haven't opted to go for a top floor hold yet. They lost basement twice. Obviously, the first round was a bit of a daylight robbery. The second round was just a great lobby take coming in from Valor. I think it's worth showing that top floor just at least once to throw a bit of a spanner in the works towards the side of Valor.
I guess, well, 3rd time's the charm. Maybe it works out this time. And now that they've had their hands a bit more unfrozen, feeling warmed up altogether, no more slippery twos around in Valor. If they lose this round, I'm going to be convinced that the shield is their best way of winning out these rounds. Since Wild definitely don't have the best way of counteracting them, Valor's operator picks is still something that, while we speak of the shield, normally I don't anticipate the fuse at all. And I kind of forget that he has a shield in the first place. But, you know, the shield is there, switched out for a blitz. And as much as Blitz does offer that rush-in capability, the Fuse, once he gets to those verticals, he is relentless.
And Fuse took to make the most of that shield, taking their very initial engagement with the Legion, almost get himself caught out. It's going to be down to Azami to try and hold on to open area just for a little bit, but she doesn't have the angles that she's quite looking for, as it's going to be on her to try and waste a bit of time in this open area as she finds a little space of breathing room as this clear comes in on the mid-floor.
Long-range angles made to cut off rotations, and then meanwhile have Wild given off a lot of it. The entirety of servers to be given, and that's going to be the fuse charge there to deny so much utility, possibly even hitting the puck right onto the Cade Claw if lucky enough. The zombies are sure to be gotten rid of, and it's going to be clearing any type of, I guess, threat to the planter besides those smoke babes, which are still being carried by Jax just to make sure it is safe and sound in case it comes down to the worst case scenario.
And it's nice we've brought the Cade this time around. No Boyo is really interesting, as Zami's going to have to fall off as well. So my main concern is there's not a lot of plant denial in this lineup. 2 C4s and 3 smokes it can be enough. But Valor Esports, they're already extremely close to the site and they have a lot of time to work with. That's my main concern. Can Wild burn down this clock enough where those smokes and C4s start to become a lot more lethal? But the problem is, with guns in hand, the kid's just going down in Puffo.
Oh, but they're breaking out the smokes. That's huge. And C4 as well, and the fuse does escape. Unscathed, essentially. A bit of HP to be ticked off, but that's no major part of it. More than just a slap on the wrist, it will not be. Valor currently going to be losing a player on top floor. That's going to be the dough could be falling to the hands of Hotka as he's looking to bring absolute flow to the side of WoW. Valor have been having real trouble entering site and the building alone up until now, and more damage delivered onto Slayer as he's starting to feel the real pressure from the side of Valor, even trying to bait it all out. Those will be all the smoke bays. C4's aligned. Maybe the Cade still has some to offer, and a random fuse cluster to maybe flush out anyone behind desk, but Framework will be the staple of the strategy. When entering in, you need some kills, cause chaos, and so he will as he does get out the Azami on top floor, but the site is still being held. Slayer still from above, does connect some shot onto Dennis, and the C4 not going to be coming through as all utility has run low, and there needs to be a way of you denying this fuse. We're going for the defuse, and so no one is covering him from the long range on the entry to the room. Slayer does find that defuse and also manages to deny the plant in the first place. Falcon finds another one for his KD, but it's down to a 1v1 and Eddie falls to the side of Eddie.
As that is a beautiful round coming in for the defense. They played their wall denial to perfection to close out Valor Esports. They tried to bait all this utility out, but the utility usage has done its job. It's kept the side of Valor at bay. They haven't been able to stick that kit, and even when they did have a slight pocket of space to try and make something happen, the Legion was extremely wise to it. He was holding that long angle all the way from garage to see onto that default plant, and because of that long angle, he can tell that there's no cover from the blue stairs onto that fuse. That low man count, the positioning of Valor, just letting themselves down there as Legion being able to deny that plant from going down. Really well played from Wild to get aggressive at the same time as well. They've all pushed up together. They've all played the retake as a team as well to overwhelm Valor Esports. And Wild finally getting those early round nerves, maybe, finding the pressure in those first few rounds just a little bit much. That's now gone out the window. They are now here. They are settled. They are playing well. So I think this game could go any which way as finally Wild have woken up and put some rounds on the board, which is amazing to see.
And we're in for a game without a doubt here. Valor will be facing the top floor for the first time, and Wild will be the one presenting it to us. Now, some operators will be kept without a doubt. We have the Smoke Ward and Azami. Actually, every single one we've seen up until now, besides the castle. The window play here is absolutely essential, and Valor will have to pick up the Hamana to also go for the castle barricades. Maybe they're just going to punch him on the sidelines. The one thing you need to be extremely careful of about is going to be lobby and anyone trying to peek you while on rappel.
Yeah, this is the thing. These lobby takes can be extremely strong, as Dustin's already made his way into ATMs, as this lobby take has become the norm. By having your Monty hold onto this lobby position, you're allowed to use all of the CO windows completely at your disposal. With sometimes a lot of jump outs coming in as well can cause some absolute carnage on those jump outs.
What is happening here? We already have Framework on the top of Square, and I don't think there's a second realization about him. Looking down that Zami, if he wins this fight, if they win this fight, it will be huge for Valor, as they have caught him off guard, but the element of surprise, their cards not played correctly, and just that one peek from the side of Hotka has allowed them to gain information, and Valor are looking to repeat that action of going in as fast as they can, completely ignoring defenses and trying to slip while the enemies are caught off guard.
And Monty already making his way up top spiral. The Deimos has got this vertical ability to dislodge these defenders as well. As Castle just doesn't know where to go, he's going to be forced into this tough situation. The prone Ango is going to keep himself alive very, very briefly here. As Valor Esports, look at the control they have in the minute 40 and a pick to go with it too, Puffo.
Pick to go with it alongside the caveat brought down to the sides of Wild, and unless they wanted to pass it down to Valor, which they did thanks to the side of Slayer, and he will be the one to keep it up onto the side of Wild. They're going to be facing a lot more contention than ever. Framework with a second, much more bullets from the side of Windows as Chi-Chi taking it on Rappel, needs no ground to work with, and the last one, Falcon from the sky, he was dropped, shot out midair by the side of Chi-Chi with the final shot into this round, and of course, side of Valor will keep it up for one more.
The Valor Esports just seem to have all the information on their attack. We got a glimpse of it early in the round. These drones Kobe'd up onto the top parts of lobby just gave them so much information. there was no elevator player coming in from Wild, and only the Legion Mine being the only roadblock to stop the Monty taking all this ground has just allowed that information gain from the Monty to give out basically live info, which is essentially wall hacks at this level, onto all of the anchor players. That gives the combination of the Deimos below and the Zofia able to basically clear out anybody they see fit. As anywhere that the Zofia can't see, the Deimos can pick that player up from below, and all of the remaining defenders, unfortunately, for Wild on their defense, just flushed out of their little cubby corners because of that combination of the Zofia and the Deimos below. This is such a well-worked strat coming in from Valor, as they are showing off a masterclass here on how to attack that top floor.
Masterclass indeed. This is how we should be seeing that attack and defense come along. So Valor, if you can mirror that type of performance right onto the opposing side, we're expecting some greatness. But up until then, Wild have definitely shown indication that they can fight back, and much more than needed. Those 2 rounds that they won, they did so gracefully and an absolute effort, because it came down to 4v1s at even times, maybe almost a flawless it was showing to be. But currently going into round number 7, again, tempo will be down to even ground, as of course switching over from one side to the other does tend to reset your mental for a bit, and now Wild are starting to lose, or starting to fight a losing battle.
And this is where Wild, they've now got what's called the advantage side, right? We spoke about it earlier, that generally speaking, 2 of the 3 sites do work to the advantage of the attacking side. So Wild, if they can crack this basement site, they'll put a lot of pressure on Valor, as Valor will also choose to repeat the site, which is fair enough, but they will be forced to go to some of these tertiary bombs, secondary and tertiary bomb sites later on in the round. But this is a huge round for Wild to get on the board. If they can get some real momentum going, if they can start to make this comeback against the basement defense on Bank, that'll do wonders for their mental and inspire them hopefully to start making the comeback in this game.
The nade now is going to be following downside hatch, as of course Dennis does get away with his life intact. Now some shots onto these Kibos. We'll be denying a bit more and even revealing where the push may be coming from. Side still bottom. Verticality here on hatches will be necessary. But with hatches so many being open, that's even more entries here for Wild to make sure that they can maybe catch Valor off guard. Currently, still have some players above, ready to shut down any attempt of opening up extra opportunities for you to make your execute any times easier. And here comes a shot from Falcon. A wall bang out from nowhere. The information there, and connecting those dots, he gets himself the opening.
And this is a beautiful opening as well to get things underway. The Maverick should be able to get this hatch open, no problem. Lovely use of the operator selection from the side of Wild to make things happen for their team. As no EMPs, but with the Mav, it is going to take a little bit of time, but it will get this hatch open. But that roam clear is beautiful from Wild. Excellent use of the Deimos and working together as a team to make things happen, and now to establish 2nd and 3rd floor control to be able to get this execute going here, Puffo.
The Maverick completely ignoring both Tubara and Cade's gadgets, just allowing an easy way to open up these hatches. And in the meanwhile, you have no smoke to now deny any plan. The Goyos will be, or would have been, the only thing to really stop Wild in their tracks. And currently, they're burning down, and they're about to be exhausted in just about any moment. But as the 4v5 initiates, we're about to be reaching mayhem point in critical escalation, as all teams are ready to gun it down. You know, Valor have 4 to offer. Wild, on the other hand, they have an extra 1 and so much utility to work with, especially an executive operator. The Sen's now throwing his gadgets. Shots ready to be made. Time is ticking down. The attack needs to make a move, otherwise Valor are getting prepped second by second. The C4 may be the only chance you have at taking it through, but the plant isn't coming down just yet. It's ready to be stuck. They're baiting out all this utility. The Bearing 9 now in hand. You know it's about to come in any second. And Hotka, we're going to be allowing some sort of easy entry, and he finds the C4, but it's not onto the right character. The plant's still going down anyways, and the time will be indicating it. The push upstairs denied. Hotka with another second 4 under the belt, and shot with the final right after that. But he gets himself a kill because extra points all along the way.
This is lovely from Wild, and I wish more people did this. When you have a sense, a Ying, something to cause a distraction, something to take the attention, blindside the defense, you can get to these off spots and plant. And that's what you have to do. Everybody at this level, even in ranked, people understand the default is the default. That's where 99.9% of the time, that kit's going to be going down. So for Wild to understand that all of the guns, all of the C4 lineups are going to be pointing at that default spot is brilliant work from them to avoid that problem completely. The Sense gadget providing that visual cover, letting the Hibana cross, to understand that that's what you need to do with, I think it was 5 seconds left on the clock, is extremely cool and collected from Wild Gaming. I can't tell you guys how difficult it is for an IGL or whoever's called that strat to keep his team organized and not to panic as that clock is 3 seconds away from hitting 0. If you're not on the F key in the site when that clock hits 0, the round is going to fall away from you. So they've timed it to perfection, making every single minute, every single second of that round work to their advantage, and they are extremely well deserving of that round to cut the deficit in half. So Wild Gaming, now those little nerves are out of the window, they are really stepping up to Valor here, and hopefully can stop them at the comeback, because winning on basement Poffo is a brilliant achievement to kick things off for us.
Absolutely. For the second round, we're already going to be having the top floor, which Valor are going to be switching things up. But Wild, an interesting operator here, as Falcon, you know, maybe he is a bird ready to rain absolute hell down upon anyone looking to catch some strays. But that Kali, it can really deal some hefty blows if played correctly.
Yeah, you can indeed. You can indeed. As the combination of the two is going to be great for clearing out a lot of this castle utility that's designed to protect the anchors in sight, cut off some of these crucial lines of sight that let the anchors play these key positions. And that's the problem with this top floor. There's not a lot of space for all 5 anchors to play. That's why Azami you can see extended out towards this stock position. Just try and give the defense a little bit more room to work with and to deny the attack from claiming that space for free. And the Deimos below being used by both teams here is great to see, as it works so well for Valor Esports, and Wild Gaming looking to replicate that success with the Deimos.
And below, Slayer's looking maybe catch someone upon that death mark. There won't be necessarily Mute nor Vigil to counter it out, and Castle will be the lock on target. And now you really need to watch out for those footsie steps along the way, and your movement will be limited to where you want to have it. Now the Deimos, you can exchange information as verticality is already unprecedented by the side of WoW. They're making it more clear than it should be, and it is being used against him as shots on 20, shots from him too. No damage to be delivered, but just as we speak of it, right on the brink of life, just hanging on by the bare skin of his teeth. There we go. Took a bit Pahatka, took even a bit off of NT Stop, and that is going to be 1 for 1.
And although their hard bridge has fallen, they've worked really, really well to get a pick back. But look at this from Duskin, looking to get aggressive, looking to find a freebie, as it's a bit windy, Poffo.
Oh no, the wind! It must have been loud! Duskin loses some HP! And there's 2 people in the crossfire! He does get it down. Does he get the finish? This would be huge. Playing off of Archives. There's the secondary. He's playing Ringarod the Rosie, and Slayer does exchange him for the lost buck. But that was too close for comfort, and Valor already must have found so much value off of this kill as well. As pity he won't be left down to it. No mercy for him as Dennis does deliver the final blow. Now coming around for a bit of pre-fire. Everyone knows they need to play this carefully, but Wild, they have no solution except going raw and absolute brute force, because that's the only thing you can do. Back up that gunfight. The Walt was there. Dennis does get down, and in the process of it, was being hunted by the Kali, but that secondary simply won't suffice, and Slayer will be the last man standing on a lone island, trying to be not surrounded by all these hungry sharks named Valor, and they're about to bite down her. Either that or it will be the clock, which is ticking down to the final 4. Everyone's just waiting them out. No one getting greedy, and which is why I absolutely love Valor's playstyle, as the 5th round will be theirs to claim.
Yeah, really smart decisions being made by the remaining Valor players here to make sure they don't give up any cheap kills and claim the round as their own. But Wild, unfortunately, have just given up a couple of sloppy kills left, right, and center, which is going to give, for the first time in this game, the 2-round advantage over to the side of Valor Esports. That cheeky little play from Duskin, being a nuisance down below. He's wasted so much utility by taking the buck off the board, wasted a lot of time as well by having the Deimos have to come after him. As although he whiffed initially, I'm sure he won't be too impressed with that when he VOD reviews this game later. It's not the end of the world, as he's done his job. He's made his mark on the round known. But to give Wild some credit, I really like the strat. They doubled down on the vertical gameplay, and they cleared the Janna position really, really well with that vert. There was a bit of body blocking going on as well from the defense, which allowed the confirm to happen onto that janitor player. But Wild Gaming had a really good strat there to go below and use that vertical gameplay to clear out some of the key positions. It was just in that transfer, that midway point where they're trying to transfer themselves to put pressure on the site. They got caught out by Duskin, who made a great move to rat him down below. But Wild Gaming, their strats are just as good. They've got the right ideas We're just to see the right level of execution coming out from them to try and half this deficit and possibly make the comeback.
That final push over the edge is what we're seeking out. And right now, I'm seeing a bit of similarity between the first best of one of today, which was between Turks LFO and Year the Snake. And of course, right now, Wild again 3-5. In this situation, if we were to follow what was occur on Border, Valor would take it in the next 2 rounds. So Wild, let's make sure that doesn't happen. Make sure that you bring this as close as you can. Maybe even win it. Regulation is still within reach. It just will require 4 rounds in a row, which is more than a task. It is a challenge and a very low chanced one with how Valor have been performing up until now. Now, my main question is, how has Duskin lost so much HP, and how the hell of Framework do you lose out and go for that cheeky peek that results in your team being 1 player down?
And it's a lot of people having the assumption that they don't need to keep themselves alive, especially while playing as Goyo. With a lot of your utility placed and already around the map, it's not as detrimental to your team if you go down early. But in this case, Framework, I don't think he's wasted enough time. He hasn't wasted enough utility, as that kill is offered up pretty much for free to the attacking side. So they've made full use of that little error coming in from Framework. So as your job as a roamer, you've got to waste a little bit more time than that. But Wild Game, this is a huge pickup for them, especially with Duskin on 1 HP too. This is a great start to Wild, as they've cracked this basement bomb site before, and they're starting off this round with great success trying to crack this basement site once again.
Drone still on active in 1 minute and 30. It doesn't seem like Framework has wasted enough time, but that fear that he made just by telling people, hey, I was up there and so many more people could be, you really want to watch out. While they're getting a bit too cautious, the drop on hatch will be secured and still not trying to risk it, as the C4 well timed, just not expected that one of the players would be out seeking out, trying to find the location you currently stand at. But Valor, they still have a player less, almost 2 if a single bullet is to be delivered on any part of Duskin's body. Be it the head, be it the toe, whatever it may be, it will be the final he gets to see. And currently, what matters is that Endy gets kept alive, because that smoke holds such a strong utility piece of advice.
And with 50 seconds left on the clock, the Deimos scans are going to go out as well. And can Wild Esports replicate the success they had with that Sense gadget? And will Valor Esports be wild? Will they be wise to where that bomb site is going to be going down as they gear up before they execute the utility dump? Is going to head out very, very soon, as they're going to just make sure nobody can play this default mirror position either on goal. As with 30 seconds left on the clock, the Warden might be the main problem here for Wild.
Oh, well, we do already have 2 people dropping down into their grave, their coffin being set nice and stone. And currently, still 1 more smoke bait. You need to take him out. Either that or the diffuser finds such a comfortable position that there can't be enough space for the gas to get to him. And now, Jox has found that space. He has found that momentum and going for the plant currently, but you lose out on that Twitch C4 side. Then he's still playing from above, but dropped down from below, flatlined by Dennis, and looking to make sure this is going to be their final bed they lay in. Right now, Valor only have 2 players, but save is set for Wild, and not much longer it stands, as the attack is starting to face consequences and repercussions for their actions. Last 30 seconds here, we can still stall it out, fight against it, down onto Dennis in a 1v1 situation. No pick up the shotgun there, so little HP, and that's going to be the consequence for you having such a loss of blood in the early stage. No C4 either, as it was wasted earlier into this round. Duskin is going for the defuse, 15 seconds, you cannot fake it. Pros don't fake, and you clearly get the plug. Plugs out of you, the cable gone, and just like that, the round will be going in the favor of Valor as they claim match point.
No, they don't, Puffer. Wild, it's going to be Wild.
Oh, no.
We're going to cut the
God
deficit
damn it.
in half
No.
as they get around on the board, attacking basement with great success. So they are once again adapting to what's been presented to them. Wild have managed to plant in 2 different off spots, and it's the chaos that the Sense gives you. Now, there's a huge buff to Sense. Warden can no longer see, and the thermal optics not seeing through the Sense gadgets anymore makes this operator top tier when it comes to these sites where Warden is normally the crucial denial operator. Him being able to normally counter what was typically a lot of the utility that allows attacks to break down defenses in the forms of flashes and smokes. I think it's a brilliant change to Sense to see him in use, to see him being used to great effect, as Zabana managed to find a tiny little pocket of space to get the diffuser down. And Hodka as well, a brilliant performance from him to play this 1v2 to perfection. He's juggled with the defense to keep them off the kit, which I can't praise enough. a lot of the time we see these attacking operators getting too eager, getting too aggressive in the post-plant situations. He's pre-fired beautifully to get the defenders off the kit. And remember, as soon as you get that kit down as an attacker, the time becomes to your advantage. You basically swap places with the defense. You can now play that time game, and Wild have played that time game to perfection in the 1v2 post-plant.
And of course, since Valor didn't take their I guess, advancement to the upstairs site and try and fight against the Sins on equal ground, he's going to be having the high one, and even taking 1v1 situations was not the great position to be stuck in. Of course, the defense, that is your weak link. You have the defuser going down, and you still need to find that bomb to defuse it yourself, which matters most because Valor, I mean, in that 1v2 situation, they could have tried to fight against the Sins both together, maybe Duskin for the peak to try and get that refrag off of him, and maybe don't lose your players so early. Yet again, Chi-Chi falls, and Valor 4v5 so early on.
Yeah, it's going to be an initial advantage, which is created right back by Framework, however, as it is going to be what looks like a lobby take coming in towards this top floor. They're going to use the top floor to get some vertical gameplay going. Really good stuff coming in from the Ram to open up some of these angles, but some C4 angles have been opened up in return. And it's actually a clash on this time around. First time we've seen this operator being brought out by the defense.
That is nasty work. And whoa, what a C4 right as Pity falls. Not just yet. Full job won't be completed. It only gets it down. You can pick him up nice and easy. No one's holding you down. And right now, the side of Wild, they're fighting Ghosts, but they're still being cautious, which definitely puts up some sort of professionalism. They don't really want to risk another two-player being dropped, especially with the advantage that they were given so early on by the side of Valor's mistake.
And this is where the clash is a problem. There's not a lot of utility on the side of Wild to be able to deal with this operator as that clock keeps ticking down. They might find a freebie here as Dennis's toes are going to get touched, which is not ideal. So him on half HP, but this is where Valor Esports are doing what we praised Wild doing. They're being disciplined. They're making it as difficult as possible for the attack to get anything going as the class has made her great retreat. And this is where it's going to look really desperate for Wild to try and make anything happen here.
Currently working on the back end just to make sure that that execute will be down to the touch. Like we said, Wild needed to improve on it, so they did for one. But now the clash is exposing the sides. That's a warning shot at least. And Valor, you need to take it with as much as you can, because the clash doesn't necessarily offer fragmentative potential. Mostly just information is shut down. But besides that, you're in a 3v4 when it comes down to guns alone. And currently Wild, their movement might be brought down by those electrons. But Valor, they have 3 guns against your 4. So take it into account. Smokes all around, ready to drop. 10 seconds, the final 2 digits will be counting down, and right now it will be the cleanup crew coming on top. Valor dropped down, but it's 1 for 1, 2 for 2. All of a sudden we've got an EQ when it comes down to the player count. Yet again another situation, and another falls, and 0 seconds remain as Pity, he gets wall banged by NE for the final count. And just a second later, or maybe just a second earlier, Valor could have still fought in that 1v2, but it was a bit too late for their liking.
How have you confused Valor and Wild?
Defenders win.
I don't know. It's
been a cracking game, but it was Wild that were trying to force their way into the site, as it was extremely difficult for them, as they had very little utility left to enable their way into the site. They couldn't make the defense of Valor uncomfortable, and that's why Valor are going to be finally claiming match point. As you can see in the replay here, the smoke's being tossed out to try and get something going, but the drop was being watched. The flank didn't quite work out either, but it's just those remaining Valor players have taken the 2v1 onto the plant cover to give that 2v1 onto the planter as well. So that's the problem when you go to plant. You're a gun down, and for that brief moment of opportunity, the advantage does go to the defense, and the defense have communicated it perfectly. They've understood that they can wait for that opportune moment to try and retake the site and deny the kit from going down. And as Wild, they kind of lost a couple of bodies early and didn't quite have the tools they needed to make it happen. That's why Valor Esports are going to be claiming match point here.
Match point it is, and looking to make it their best shot. They have 2 lifelines, keep that in mind. Maybe they can lose this one, but the next one, it needs to be done if they want to have themselves a secure spot within regulation, not trying to gamble it out in overtime. And Wild, again, climbing up the ladder, 2 more steps to be made, and currently Valor are holding you at bay right below them, as it will be a difficult battle. Again, the attackers tend to have the roughest time when it comes around to the execution. That's why you use your gadgets to make it an easy entry, and that's why you cover ground, get those verticals, whatever you need. But Wild, as much as they've been getting that, when it comes down to those final few seconds, they really hesitate to push in once it's needed.
And it seems like Wild Esports, going for this top floor take again, are going to be trying to use that verticality as much as they can. There's a slight tweak in the lineup. No Deimos this time around. It's just the buck from below. If they want to try and dislodge some of these anchors, as they are setting up for a... they're spreading themselves thin across this top floor. They've got people kind of everywhere. A couple of guys outside Stockton Square, one guy in below, a couple of guys towards lobby. I was just trying to spread out across the map and see if they can get an opening pick in their favor.
Opening pick in their favor. Wild again bringing out that Kali, which earlier didn't show to be the best when it come down to gunfights. But what matters is clearing out the zombies. It could also be done by the Flores, but I guess there's also multiple gadgets to be done out by the castles as well, the Arunis. That's why you counter them out with 2 of your own when you go over to the attacking side. The Selma's gone. A cheeky run off, but the sprint won't be able to secure it all. These zombies are still being put up, but the second you get exposed, it's going to be a dangerous game you're playing, and so many keep-up barriers. The major of them wasted, and another player to be gone as Valor keep on losing the opening frags.
But this is what we need to see Wild convert these opening engagements into round wins. 70-something% of the time, you get the opening engagement and it's untraded within the first 8 seconds of that kill. The round should be going in your favor. The Wild Esports with the advantage once again. You've got Ace posted up, just looking to get aggressive on this Janitor player, Pufo.
It's getting close. It's getting mighty, and right at your doorstep will be Jacques. Flashes from below here will be helping out a ton, while the Izami Kiba will be there into your way to make sure you don't have easy entry. Maybe pushing out. Valor are looking for some aggressiveness. They haven't found the right key just yet, but unlocking that door to match point right now will be a necessity. Definitely not the good way to start us off with the opening pick. Right now, everyone's still being a bit hesitant. And well, just as we speak of it, Duskin comes out on top, and Jacques return 1 on 20 as they both fall 1 for each other. The man advantage still for the side of Wild, and they're going to be keeping it up from below. Comes out 1. They're expected. Shots will be missed, and it's a tragedy, and Valor will not be able to claim that possible balance between the teams. Now still holding it long. The Kali on window will be major, and anyone trying to run across those lines of sight without no rook armor, you're surely going to be put onto the dead list. Maybe even death note for him. That sniper, oh, it packs more than just a punch. Walking right across the line side. There you go. The shot is there for Chichichi. Do we get a second? No, but is holding that position and forcing you away from your comfort zone. And the defuse is denied. But the absolute magnum opus of this team coming out on top is Wild. We'll be sneaking 1 round closer to making sure this goes OT.
And this is really well, cool and composed from Wild. And this is what I love about them. When the going gets tough, even though they're under the cosh and the Valor Esports have claimed match point, they haven't given up. They've kept themselves going as this flashbang in towards Janitor has opened up a lovely entry for Ace to build on that man advantage and get themselves into a position where they can make the remaining defenders extremely uncomfortable. That CO window position is so strong, and what better operator to put on those windows than the Kali? She's completely cut the site in half. She's dislodged those key anchor players, which lets the plant come in. It lets the rest of Wild have confidence when they push the site. So they're flawlessly execute, well, it's not quite flawlessly as they lost the body, but really well played from Wild to understand the strategy that goes into that top floor attack. And it's all about, if you are going to go for a slow and sort of methodical style of siege in these rounds, make sure you're hitting the checkboxes to take the round 1 stage at a time, to reset in between, and just take the time just to say, look, this is our in, this is how we can make it as easy as possible for ourselves, and a lovely bit of cohesion between the Ace and the top floor players and the buck below to pressure into that top floor.
Look, if Valor keep on offering these sacrifices to allow me to do more play-by-play in the early rounds, I'm fine with it. But in the long run, it's not going to be looking good for themselves, as Wild have definitely taken that into account. And again, gained so much from these early picks. It has been a huge staple pillar just of this gameplay alone for both of these teams. And while Wild have definitely been the ones claiming, how about we see a change of pace? Going downstairs, we will also see a lot more operators to deny that plant, as earlier it showed to be quite a blunder for both of these teams. And alongside the Goyo, there will not only be the smoke, but also the Maestro.
And that's what I wanted to highlight. The downside of Valor on this basement site, which they haven't won at all yet. The strongest map, or strongest site on this map for the defense. Valor Esports haven't been able to convert it. But look at this, Duskin. I think he's been misdroned here on this top floor here, Puffer.
Possibly might have caught one off guard and looking to turn it into a game of Wild. Right now, sneaking in the corner. He knows he's spotted out. One from behind, one from the front. Left, right, and center. You are outnumbered, and Hotka will take the first initiation.
And this is a lovely clear from Wild. It was not a misdrone at all. As Mute trying to, I understand the tech. Try and hide from the Deimos, try and hide from the drones with those Mute jammers, but it's just not worked out as Wild punished that pocket play. And as I said, it was the catching out in these off plants that Wild were doing against Valor. These off plants working ever so well for them. And that's why Ennie's now hopped onto the Maestro to give a lot more information to the defense. And now that Mute's been taken off the board as well, he can ride those Maestro camps to try and still be helpful from the depths of his grave.
If I were to be Valor, I would have much preferred keeping the Mute C4 still in stock and maybe trading him out for Frameworks Goyo. Again, all he has to offer is going to be nothing besides the gun, which the Vector definitely gives a lot of possible outcomes when it comes down to fight situations. But again, C4s and anything to deny the plan, get yourself those kills when everyone is just bunched up in sight, has been a huge, huge leader when it comes down to kills. And right now, Wilds are off to a good path to claim themselves overtime.
And this is where, with 50 seconds left on the clock, they've got the Capital this time around instead of the Sense, as they're just trying to frickin' probe into the site, see where this execute needs to come in as they're droning towards lobby area, as it seems like they've decided they want to go lobby here, and it's just, can they use the utility in the right spots here, Puffer?
Can they do it in the right spots? And again, they're just holding off for so long. It will be in any second right now that things will start to unfold. And currently Valor are looking to fold them like an omelet before they get scrambled like an egg, make an entry, decide it's free real. And right now, Jacques punishes one enemy still fighting with the Alda. But little do you know, they're starting to close in and you will need a fighting battle. So you do. Dennis helps out right behind that wall. And little do you know that Slayer will be swinging, putting you out of commission. Framework still working that gun. The Peace Shooter, oh, it packs so much heat. But in the meanwhile, the plant is going down. No wall bank. You need to move just a bit too much to the left. The shotgun comes around and misses the down as well, but it's exchange. Slayer is still holding him down, and one single bullet from Framework could be finishing out Bank in its entirety. But you have no information, and Framework swings. Valor will be taking it in the final chance. A near-death experience, but they prevail as Wild will lose it out on one-to-one fashion. And Valor on the pinnacle of the peak, 7-5 within regulation. The match is theirs.
I thought he knew. The Twitch had the angle. She was pre-firing towards Framework in the earlier part of that round. As that little bit, it was a little bit windy onto Maverick. Gave Twitch just enough time to try and find just that little bit of time to trade the kills out. But unfortunately, Twitch just not quite having enough gas left in the tank to understand where the last player was. So it's extremely unfortunate for the side of Wild as a crazy last round to end things in this game. As Valor starting off their group stage in Voltage League with a bang, with a 7-5 victory over Wild. But we've got to give credit to Wild. These guys were all up for the game, and it come down to just the fine moments in that last round. Both of these teams playing exceptionally well to give us, I think, 2 certified bangers back-to-back here, Buffalo.
Oh my god, like we said in map number 1, you cannot miss this one. And so it held true because it was so close. And in the end, Valor just managed to take it by the very edge, the very fine shine. Both of these teams really outperformed. Like Amgun said, give credit where it's due. They were both given their time and they did justice with it to our very own eyes. No sour taste to be left, and well played to both of them. But as you're seeing these replays, I mean, the shots, the kills were absolutely phenomenal. And of course, Valor, in the end, they managed to just pull it through. The final one, if there was a bit more information, I imagine Wild would have gotten away with it. But it is what it is. Any man's game. And in competition, this time around, Valor will take it.
Yeah, and Wild Gaming can be really proud of themselves. This was a phenomenal game from both sides. There was some brilliant siege being played as well. There was very little mistakes from both of these teams as well, which I love. Wild Gaming, especially on some of these attacks, I really want to give them praise for their problem solving. In some of these situations where they've done the early and mid-stage mid and early parts of the round correctly, they've also had enough mental fortitude to lock in for their execution. They've been thinking, what can we actually do to win this round? How can we avoid a lot of the problems that Valor have presented? And this is why, me personally, I love Siege. This game is all about these little minor mini micro problems that you have to solve that are individual to each of the rounds. And both of these teams have shown how they can constantly be evolving and keep themselves on the front foot and deal with the problems that the defense are bringing and constantly adapt to make this game as best as it can be. And that's why this game has been so good, because of the high level IQ shown from both teams.
Well, as much as intense as this match was in the previous one as well, we have been shown absolute greatness. But it's not the end just yet, Amguns. We have one more match here today, and it will be Gunners versus Diavoli. Both of these teams, I know Diavoli a lot more. Gunners, I'm hoping to get a fantastic first impression. But before we get to it, I think we need to sit down for a second, have a bit of a break, and stay tuned because it's about to get hot.
See you soon.
You want to see a 1-0, 2-0 even, and have nothing in turn? That is disastrous. And here comes the corner swing, and wow, perfectly timed, coming in from MB with that shotgun swing and taking another as well. This is looking very, wait, that's 2 gone already. And on top of that, we just seen Mulder take Zephyr down, which is huge. That's going to be already all but 1 Nitro off the board. Holy crap, the flank comes in! The intel gap in its greatest iteration. Oh, someone to push it. This is kind of where those solo pushes can be really risky. You drop the fuser right into the defense's cradling arms, and now you're in dire straits. And that walk up from Benji, very high risk and no reward as will go down.
Mad, you lose your mute. In reality, Bon Voyage are on the positive side here. It's lost your Nomad very early on in the game. He's having a bit of trouble, but gets peeked all the way from Garage. That'll be Noms picking up that Zoff. Now the other side of reading. 7 seconds to get this diffuser down. Noms making his way on top white stairs. Not going to be quick enough for the plant, I don't think, as it's gone down. Chichi will hear him, but he looks the complete wrong way as Noms will be picking up 3 kills for the round.
From the little corner there, that she's actively droning, looking for what she can sabotage. That's a problem. That's already 2 operators who are going to be effectively nullified as these 2 players keep their numbers up, but not unless they go for drop-offs like that. Don't have to deal with echoes.
It is possible for a hold-off, but Bon Voyage have got to lock down sites, lock down doors, give cover to let
it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
And here, live at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, we make some more. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Invitational 2025.
Boston, are you ready to make history? Game number one begins now!
It is Haza Company Academy! It's unwanted!
We can't quite see it, the punt.
Oh, it down, a beautiful
Cyber isn't going to let him just sit on this. Oh, brilliantly played.
It seems like Furia might just have numbers, but they've lost a couple. And Philippe Foxy, the BDS steal that round for Furia. He's working a triple for Dream. It's all up to Nate and Philippe Fox now. Numbers in a disadvantage for them. And Nate is on the floor.
Pressurization complete.
First map looks to be locked on to be theirs. Bring out the 1v1.
Unbelievable stuff from the Brazilian. It's all up to
He's been here before. He does it. He's got to step across. It's all about this 1 versus 1. He wins it out. Rene's going for the plant. Cyber's got 3. We're down towards this last 30 seconds. Better King is manoeuvring here. Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going up Tim. Finally himself down now. Users has got to clutch up big. Andy, let's see if the swing. The waiting. Solotop's down. 3 days off. He's also down.
Oh, after a sweat-dripping match, we just had a 7-5 result in regulation between the sides of none other than Wild and Valor Esports. We have come out with a result. We have also sent you to break, and we are back from that break as it is still me, Buffalo Bob, and Among Us. Amguns, how are you doing?
Papa Bob, we've done enough casts together for you not to know that it is. I was the OG. I beat Among Us to the name. Okay, I don't want any no slander on my name. It's Amguns and Papa Bob to cover all the action here in our final game of the day, and it is going to be Diavoli versus the Gunners. I believe this is the Gunners' first time under this new name, so we'll have to see what this roster has in store for us. This is going to be the battle of T3, T4 right here to close the day out for us. As Papa Bob, we've had two absolute certified bangers today. I'm really hoping this follows the trend and we get another amazing game. As going into the map bans, what do you think it's going to be?
I mean, I can see it, and I'm quite happy about it. Honestly, my gamble was Chalet. Before we were going to this, I was just thinking about Chalet. I thought it was going to be Chalet, but another one of those comfort picks. I think this is a really good map you want to go in if it's a best of one, right? Because best of ones rely on just common maps. Chalet, Clubhouse, Nighthaven. Chalet almost ended up being picked, but today we're going to be having a bit of Nighthaven for our last Amguns.
We are indeed, and what a map it is. I think Labs is a great map, man. It's that perfect balance of strategy, gunplay, everything we love about Siege. I think Labs is the perfect display of all of those things combined, and we get absolute thrillers on Labs. So I'm extremely excited to see what both of these teams are going to be cooking up for us on Labs. So let's take a look at the team lineup as well and see what the players have in store for us.
Oh, well, from the side of Gunners, we have Bolton, Robbie, Kevin, Diavolo, and Mateen. And on Diavoli, it's going to be Devil, it's going to be Allard, Chus, Marat, and Raul. Interesting names. We also see that, Diavoli, I believe, means devil in Italian or some language, and maybe it sounds like it for sure, so it has to connect together. But interesting teams. And while we've seen predictions for two of the matches today, let's take a look at the third, as these one will be just about as equal as they were earlier. But you know what, Amguns, it's a battle between producers, observers, and the casters.
It is indeed, as we've gone one way, the rest of our production has gone the other way.
Ooh.
So again, a 2v2 split coming out between the production staff. And the other thing I really want to point out from the side of Diavoli, or Muscle Sheep, or Super Sheep, as you might want to call them, from their amazing logo, they've got a real mix of nationalities in that roster. They've got a couple of Italians, a Portuguese player, a British player in the lineup as well. So there's always that dynamic behind the scenes of, people speaking different varieties of English, if they're most likely communicating in English, and that Italian and maybe Portuguese twist to the language, and how well that can adjust how well you synergize with each other. So that's something to point out from their roster. But hopefully that's not going to stop them from providing an absolute brilliant game for us here today. Any comments from the side of the Gunners that you want to point out before we get into
I haven't seen them. I have seen Diavoli, but I have not seen the Gunners. And like I said, I know I am hoping that they get a really good first impression on me. And before we head into the map, Amguns, we're going to do a bit of repetition. You know what? We're going to do another bit of a gamble. Who will be banned?
On Labs, I think a Maverick ban will make things really, really interesting. The Caleb to borrow this combination you spoke about on a previous map, that combination is extremely strong as well. So I think those are the primary bans at the moment coming into Labs. A lot of Cade, a lot of Tabara being banned out, possibly even both.
Well, unsurprisingly, it will be Blackbeard here leaving us first. And following, interestingly, will be Dokkaebi that we saw quite a lot of times when we go to the previous map. All that's left on defense is where I'm going to have to agree with you. The Tabara, the Cade, maybe Mira and Azami. But again, focusing on the first two.
Yeah, and Monty being available is going to make things very, very interesting. We saw Rooney absolutely cooking on the shield earlier today. So hopefully one of these teams can lean into the shield gameplay. I think the shields are I think actually quite balanced at the moment. There's a lot the defense can do to counter them, as we saw the Turks doing earlier today, but there's a lot of ways the attack can build a lineup around those shields. As the Valkyrie that you spoke about earlier as well, she's been banned out too. So twice out of 3 maps today, we've seen the Valkyrie being banned out too.
I think she was banned on every map. Wasn't she banned on Border as well?
She wasn't banned on Bank.
Oh, she wasn't banned
on available
Bank.
on Bank.
That's right.
Banned on Border.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Blackbeard will be the 3 for 3 though, and really it shows that no one likes the Blackbeard. I imagine a lot of teams don't like playing him and playing against him at the same time. So it's like, just get him out of there, or maybe don't even ban him at all, and he probably won't get picked, which is most of the time in life.
There's a lot of basically you have to weigh up how much value you can get out of using him against how hard he is to deal with, and I think everybody is unanimously agreeing. As I said, it's like hand sanitizer. 99.9% of the time, people are thinking he's harder to deal with than he is the value he brings. And that's why we see such a high ban rate of this operator. People are being like, I think it's actually moving a mystery. It's like a Fugazi almost. When we've seen Blackbeard in play, I don't think I've seen absolute stomps because the Blackbeard's been on the board. A lot of teams will bring a Blackbeard out one round and the opponents will completely adjust, adapt to deal with the Blackbeard. So in the games I have seen him play, I don't think he has enough. He has a massive fear factor to him, but I think the stats will show, and hopefully I can try and grab these stats from somewhere. I don't think he actually has as much of an impact to live up to that fear factor.
Absolutely. And with that, I mean, Amguns, we're also going to be seeing a bit of mixture from these lineups, a bit of Border and a bit of Bank alongside it.
Yes, and the map in the mix of layer, as we're going to get a nice opening from Alfred to kick things off, and he's managed to make his way into storage. As I said earlier, this map is the perfect balance of that roam and anchor gameplay, as it just offers the most flexible playground, if you like, for both of these teams.
If you are like both of these teams, things are going to be out. Diavoli is going to be expanding off of that bottom. We see Electricity taking some damage off of Choose, but nothing major just yet.
And Maverick is going to be looking to trick this wall and get it open. There is a Cade available, so just these little nav holes at the bottom. Actually knew where the Cade floor was, so that is going to let them get the wall open. And this is lovely work from the attacking side. Used a brilliant ability of Maverick to get things open and to get some initial control. But the problem is, it's taken them a minute 30 just to get up to this point, as I'm a little bit worried about the timing here, Puffer.
Absolutely, the move on from Diavoli will be showing pure aggression and Incarnate indeed, because they're already taking over. Raptors looking to be the Puppeteers rather in a situation like this. May have been reinforced off for one, but what matters is that the Ace still stands strong, looking to get those Selmas, which will be denied by the Mute, and Diavolo's 2K will find one. That's Allard off the board. Exchange for the earlier loss of Boltan, which sadly was a very bad situation for Gunners, but currently we have settled things down.
And Blitz is just looking to make his move, get aggressive. The zombie's waiting right around the corner for this guy to make his move, but Blitz is going to think better of it. And this is an extremely one-dimensional take coming in from the side of Davoli as they look to push pressure from this warehouse side.
Oh, who's going to be the one to act with the Grim Reaper? I can already feel the side swing in its handle, and currently that's going to be the bullet right from the pistol whip. But Avalon's 2K will already find himself a 2K, as the name indicates, but will it stop there? Devils finds one, that's Karyudo falls. A triple kill for the MP7, and could be possibly finding the ace. It's the last retribution you can get, the saving one for the attack, and currently the whip is there from the Blitz. Can't really find it. The Blitz as well, I mean, just absolutely shutting down your vision and taking you out in your final steps.
He couldn't blow up the C4 because he would have taken himself out with it as he dueled with the Blitz. That's really unfortunate with the Bandit. The Bandit did a great job of finding the buck earlier to alleviate that vertical gameplay, but the Blitz has been the difference maker. The combination of utility dumped into the site, the really good timing from Davoli to go 3-2-1, let's hit the site. I can't give this team enough credit for how well they've attacked this top floor bomb site. In a 4v4 situation with all of their bodies stacked up towards each other, they've done a great job of coordinating which site anchor they want to fight together. And that's the name of the game when it comes to Siege. You want to work as a team. You want to do everything in your power to make these fights as unfair as possible. A lot of the times, a lot of the flashier plays in Siege is taking these 50-50 gunfights and winning them, but Divoli have gone the much more reliable way of winning, which is we're going to basically 3v1 this guy to confirm we get the kill, and I love to see it. Siege is all about doing the most you can to make it as unfair as possible, and with the wide variety of tools available to you when you pick these, when you pick your operators, Divoli have done a great job of using those operators to completely slam the site anchors and command center to start off strong.
As impenetrable as Gunner's defense may have seemed, Diaboly didn't even need the main breach in the end to penetrate it. And looking at this change of operators currently going to bottom floor, we're already seeing Diaboly switch over towards that. Not only executive operator, the Grim, which is fantastic to see, but at the same time, the Ram, which brings so much verticality, it might as well be over.
And this is the thing with this basement site. The verticality is the name of the game. You can get so much success as there's no hard floor pretty much whatsoever on this basement site, and that's why Divoli are going to be starting off with this top floor, looking to clear the mid-floor extension. The defense knows it too, making a lot of their own vertical angles so they can hold the site from above, and that's what's forced Divoli to clear top floor down.
Traversing through these castle barricades, it does seem to be a bit of a track stopper currently, and Gunners are holding them at bay. Diaboly can't make a necessary move on just to enter this building alone, but the attackers will need to do it one way or another, be it by brute force or by just using their movement and management of utility alongside it. This information here will be huge, and I just wonder what will Gunners do about it.
And it seems like they're going to use that drone work to great effect to try and clear this mid-floor, as they've got so much info on this Cade, who's going to retreat ever so slightly. He doesn't want to give this opening engagement away. But with this top floor control, we need to see some of this butt or ram usage to clear this mid floor completely.
Clear it indeed, and it's about to get close. It's about to get hot and handy. A bit of a close-up onto Buck's face, but right now, Choose is making a very distinctive choice. Moving up, looking to maybe take out the castle. Oh, MXT, he's getting close and personal, but not just enough yet, as pings are still there, but no shooting on sight yet, besides this verticality, which could be the nail in the coffin for this Cade, as he's fallen to finish off with a pistol, but still not a single move on from one of them.
And this is where the vertical gameplay is going to put so much pressure on the defense. KV's going to find it really difficult to place pillar position when the attack looks to clear across. But Martin's going to find one on the mega flank apparently, as he finds one from the heavens on top warehouse.
Oh, and Diaboli's going to join along the train, and it's looking to ram down Diaboli, put them off those boots, and make sure their balance is offset. The headshot won't be delivered, and M18, he finds it. That's Truce off the board. Another one for the grave, and all of a sudden, Diaboli looking absolutely pressurized. Not a single piece of headspace. Gunners have taken it all away, and by a landslide, this defense should be having themselves an easy round.
This is a lovely retake from the castle, as he is going to fall, unfortunately, as the attackers will fall. But this is brilliant understanding from Divoli. They've understood they can't just sit back and let the attackers have all this vertical gameplay uncontested. So really good work from the castle to get aggressive. And I think the other thing to mention is there was no pressure over towards the vending side. The default cam was very much likely still available and providing live info to the castle to be able to get aggressive. I believe the 90 cam was still up as well, which allows the castle to sneak through cargo, get himself onto that top floor, and become such a nuisance. So unfortunately for the attacking side of the Gunners, for the attacking side of Divoli, they just haven't applied that pressure across the mid floor, and that's let Gunners get aggressive and play for the retake on the vertical.
It was the best bet for Gunners to take. They took their gunfights, they took them well, and that castle not being spotted out might have been the greatest mistake that Diaboli could not have reaped off of. Rather, Gunners taken that into their own account. And currently, it is 1-1. We are still on Nighthaven. Round 2 already showing a bit of rivalry between these two teams. But currently, Diaboli, you have an easy way to breach, so make sure to use it.
And this is where the Gunners, I really like the lineup they're bringing on the defense here. Each operator in this lineup has a very distinctive role. The Mute is going to be used in this case to reduce the amount of information Divoli have on the site itself. You've got the Bandit to delay the attack from getting things open. It's crucial to get Connector as well as the IT breach open to give yourself the greatest possible chance to get in. But Blitz is going to just get straight in, get into this ground floor to get themselves some control here, Puffer.
Not a single care in the world like we talk about it. The train, not on wheels nor tracks. It's simply going to be on legs and with a metal sheet in front of him, looking to flash, looking to bash, and looking to have an absolute blast in the process, as this is going to be the Bandit tricks. Not going to be limited no longer as the Bandit falls. Skeleton trick from below, trying to bait him out, and so he fell into his trap. The Buck finding an opening, and although some damage onto the Grim, but Diavoli have not lost a player just yet.
I love the focus Diavoli are putting on this ground floor. Again, the floor is soft completely. There's so many different ways you can use that vertical gameplay to your advantage, as that's going to give the attacking side the icy breach to kick things off. As Bandit falling early and Mute taking a lot of damage as well. Live pinged out as well. Buck able to find him just through the floor here, Papa.
On number 3, Diavoli, looking fresh out of the oven and currently sweating over a cold stove as they have plenty of time. But in the meanwhile, what they have is so much advantages under their own, into the pocket, looking to clear out this mirror, and so much utility being taken off, getting away scot-free, no HP to be left. And right now, Gunners are desperate for any type of kill or pickup they can find.
And this vertical gameplay is making it so uncomfortable for these defenders. The mirrors being cleared out is going to open up avenues from warehouse. They're going to look to pinch in from the blue side as well, as once the body stacked up from this warehouse side, you can just see the defense getting itchy as here comes the blitz as well.
Oh, yes, it does. And a C4 onto your teammate. No! Kieran, he did find a kill, but what's his reward for it? A C4 right into the face for breakfast, eating it up. Diavoli have found themselves a tasty meal, and a mistake from Gunners that could be costing them around, but Bolton doesn't give up yet. The SMG-11 strikes yet again, and the capacity may not be good on that gun, but Diavolo's 2K, will it come to fruition? An extra bullet onto the head, you could find that certification. Currently, the dream is looking to become reality, and pushing 3. Diavoli right now need to find themselves 1v1s, but from your right shoots out McSteen, and the last one to be standing will be really choose if this round is theirs or for Gunners to claim. Well, the current count you have at hand at the time you have remaining, especially with whatever execution you could possibly pull off, the chances are slim. And of course, Diavoli, you're not looking shady. Gunners will shoot you down, and like the name indicates, you get one, the second one doesn't peak. There's no greediness in the eyes of these defenders. They are patient, they are steady, and they shoot when they need to, as Bolton takes the final.
And I think the Buck has just made slightly the wrong decision. When the retake comes in on command center, you saw the Fenrir tucked behind the desk, giving that crossfire some more life between Fish and that command center position. I think the Buck has to use the vertical gameplay to dislodge some of these anchors. As you can see, the blitz just being sent in to try and be that X factor to get themselves into the site. But the Gunners this time around have done such a good job of absorbing the pressure. They found the spaces, the little pockets of space that will keep themselves close enough to the site to deny that entry. As Diavoli on the attack did a great job of clearing the site, but they didn't do a good job of maintaining the pressure to keep the defense uncomfortable. They just couldn't quite deal with the safety of the Fish positions, and that's what's led to that amazing crossfire between the Azami and the remaining defenders to completely shut out Diavoli there. The blitz just not quite working out for them in that round.
Not just yet. And Gunners right now will be rolling the dice yet again to see how this lineup of operators will stick with it, as this is the first time we get to see this site. It's going to be middle ground, and of course we do see the shotgun from Bolton. In the meanwhile, the SMG-11 on this specific character, and of course the player himself has been extremely complimentary. The Bazi is one of those really interesting picks. I would love to see B&U, especially when you trade out information of Diavoli's for it to be your own, and also the guns that come alongside it, and the denial is absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, this lineup is designed to hold on to this top floor. You've got smoke built to deny the kit itself. However, right now, everybody on the side of the Gunners obsessed with this top floor, and rightfully so, due to the vertical gameplay present. I'm really hoping later on the round, Solus can go down to basement to give 2 different layers of verticality to this defense. As you can see here, Diavoli setting up to play this top floor, as they have to respect the vertical gameplay on this side.
There's always pros and cons, and when it comes down to openings, Nook may just be one of your worst possible places to find yourself in. Diavoli already looking to trip in their own words and maybe stumble in their own steps, as you have not only lost the opening, but that's going to be your opportunity to find an easy entry into sight, and a second one could fall. Just depends on this main breach and how well you play it, or rather, how well you play it with your team. Oh no. Oh, the Azami's holding you, just gets away, but they're still contesting each other, and I mean, Gunners are right now playing with their food.
Yeah, Azami is just looking to waste as much time as she can on this top floor, as there's still a 2-man, 3-man extension towards this top floor now. Gunners looking to play this for their life, looking to keep themselves alive as long as they can and deny this pressure. But this is where the pressure has to come from the connector side. Use that connector breach to force these players back.
Force them back to retreat. Whatever you must do. Currently, there will be a second for the name of Gunners, none other than MX Team, who cannot choose. And a beautiful flick onto Kevin, as he didn't expect it, but Bolton gonna make sure that there will be no unfortunate chain link of events. And just as we speak of it, that's one, that's second. And Mirage clings to both, has picked off Bullseye for the side of Diaboli, as that just might be their entry into winning round number 4. Oh,
and they're going to find the smoke as well. As this is lovely work from Divoli, but the flank from Bolton is going to make his way up. He finds the heads on for both. Double kills from both teams apparently, clutching it out for the defense once again. As Gunners are going to claim another defense. There's a hero play coming out from Bolton to clutch it up. As that was a 2v4 going the way of Divoli until the side of the smoke of Gunners putting his foot down, as some beautiful shots from both teams. But in this case, Divoli just being shut out by the hero play of Bolton there.
Oh, what an unexpected vice versa. Diaboli, that fantastic aim accuracy, mechanical giftness, all for naught, just for Gunners to playing down to their final trump card they had. And of course, Bolton being the shining star on round number 4, as now Gunners have claimed themselves at least a balanced out first half in the worst case.
And the Gunners are doing a great job. That round looked a little bit dicey after they got the opening kill, but they settled down. They made sure they made it difficult, and it's just, you've got to give as much credit as you can to Bolton. But looking forward, we are going to see a bit of extension coming out once again from the Gunners to extend onto this mid floor. And this is where we've got the verticality once again. I love the fact that we've added the Grim as well into the lineup. Never mind. As we're going to see a lot of repicks coming in from the attack here. But again, the verticality is going to be the name of the game. We've got the Buck and the Ram to be able to clear this extension. And I want to see the side of Divoli use that vertical gameplay from the 3rd floor a lot earlier in the round to make that adjustment so they get a lot more control over the mid floor a lot earlier. That way they're not pressed for time nearly as much, and they can make full use of that vertical gameplay. They can put some pressure towards Exo as well as Cargo, as that lack of pressure towards the Exo side last time around really caught them out. And there's no flank watch in this lineup either, Puffo, so they really need to make sure they're spread out across the top floor and watching for any possible retakes coming in from the defense.
Also need to make sure that every single one of their 6 points are checked. Make sure to watch each other's back and make sure that anyone trying to go for a flank is to be denied. The Sledge coming in for the castle, that's going to be an opening, and an opening kill possibly as Gunners are looking to seek out another. The chance is there, you can chuck it, but it could be the sound cue that gives it off. Mozzie still playing around corner side, everyone knowing that this L85 is about to strike thunder, and Diaboli, oh yes, they get it! That's going to be a huge shot, a beautiful one from Allards, and in the meanwhile, looking to use this verticality to find yourself a second. Gunners are looking at absolute contention from below the C4 there. Does he deny it? Yes, but will it claim? Absolutely not.
And this is where this is a beautiful position from the Sledge. They've identified they're banking on the castle, as Boltan's going to find one back to take out the Ram, and that's a lot of vertical gameplay taken out, as RWL's going to find another though to give themselves a man advantage once again. They're getting so aggressive as RWL finds a second and a third. This guy's insane. As a triple kill for RWL to leave Kiwi all alone in the 1v4 battle.
Oh, yes, it is. And the 1v4 is where he falls. Kiwin could not prevail. And in the end, that final shot from top stairs, he knew the position, he knew the timing, he shot a shot, the trigger was pulled, and just like that, of course, the attack will be taking one round in back for themselves. Diaboli looking to get up on that even score like Gunners, but this is their final round to do so.
And what a round from Divoli. They understood they need to get some rounds on the board. They need to build some momentum. And what a better way to build some momentum from RWL. Got to highlight him from that round. Just taking the round by the scruff of the neck, finding 3 different kills back to back to back. That's going to build some serious belief in this team. And again, Labs is another one of those maps where it's not inherently one attacker or defender sided. This map is all about how well you play as a team. And Divoli are going to have got a chance here to get themselves to a 3-3 split and keep it even across the half. I think 4-3, 4-2 or a 3-3 split. Both teams will be very, very happy with, as they both seem completely up for this game here to keep themselves off in voltage.
Absolutely. Positivity up. You can't drop your mental just yet. Both of these games, it's the very first half, so let's make sure to have more of these shots. I mean, we've been having some fantastic gunfights between the two, and currently, this is going to be the last one. We have to have Gunners, possibly last one, as long as overtime doesn't come around. But currently, the first one, we get to see Gunners, 6 rounds in defense. 3 of them have won 1. A 4th one could possibly still await, of course, unless Diavoli have a different say about it.
And Gunners made a slight adaptation on this top floor as well. They've given up the land trick. They've understood that Divoli have been adjusting to getting these walls open extremely well. So rather than trying to keep these breaches closed this time around, they're going to try and play off of getting kills once the breaches do get open. They understood that there's not really much they can do to waste enough time with the breaches. But rather than trying to play to keep them closed, try and bring more utility to keep the attackers out when they inevitably do get the breach.
On the fly, everything just being done by a Diavoli. They're having a move on, but currently the one player you need to be extremely cautious about will be Carjudo. One drone and his position is revealed. Maybe even his fate is to be sealed, but currently that doesn't seem to be the case. Or maybe just someone has a bit of a case onto him, knowing what the position could be of this Legion. Some head holes right around. You could peek, or maybe you could get peeked from the left. So many choices, but Gunners are keeping them at bay, and Bolton is going to get another. Lands the C4, and currently a down, but from behind, Koryuno comes in for the save. A second one from Bolton, and all of a sudden Diavoli have crumpled down. 1 pistol kill in exchange for 1, or rather basically 3 of your teammates to fall. This is not value, and those sharks are stockpiling down to the ground.
And Gunners done a phenomenal job of holding each other. They've responded so well to Divoli's strat, especially that little crossfire being held in the basement, as unfortunately for Divoli, their attack has fallen apart, but the Blitz will find one to leave us in a 2v3 situation.
That's going to be 1, but just 1 more enough to be good enough for this possible situation. Again, quantity does mean a lot, and numbers have a huge advantage. Now, the CMP is going to be used to try and make sure that the chances of you hitting those shots are as little as possible. Going in for the defuse, we do have a C4 here coming out from Ni Win, and right now he's waiting. I imagine he's just waiting for that chance. The pistol there will deny him, and now the plant could be coming down. He backs off it. The main breach will no longer be the main area or the rendezvous for these attackers, and pushing through, gets one shot. The quad for the Blitz, and looking for the ace to claim it through. Still plenty of time. The Legion, not a single piece of gadget besides that goo to save you through. And currently the Blitz, the second he approaches you, or it doesn't reveal those footsies, you're constantly going to be under this pressure, unrelying, and everyone just waiting for you to clutch it out. But you're against the time limit. The plant is down, post initiated, and currently the Blitz not even grieving for that ace. Diavoli know what position they're in. They want that 3-3. They want it badly. No reveal of the shoulders. Gotta keep yourself safe and sound. Trying to peek. The timing won't be there. A single bullet from Carjudo. A double for him. Needs the triple. Goes for it. Spotted out the enemy. Gonna be backing up. It's all around pillar. Oh, it's a loop around it. It's a game of Scooby-Doo. It's an episode of it. Just Carjudo gets away with it. In a 1v2, they didn't play together. And that was the greatest punishment for the side of Gunners.
Bro, I thought the attacking side was about to get with daylight robbery. As Divoli in a 2v4, I believe it was, getting the kit down. We're putting Blitz on the cover with the pistol. Apparently, who needs an assault rifle anyway to cover the plant? Apparently, the pistol's all you need. But after all the dust settles, really well played by the Legion in the 1v2 situation, using his aggressive nature to his advantage to find the cheeky little one-tap onto the Blitz, round the side of the shield, wanted style, swerving the bullet onto the little bit of flesh that is exposed, and then lovely way to juggle the little pre-fire onto the Thatcher as well. But you can't be throwing bodies like that, Divoli, on your attack. I think for that, Divoli especially, in that round, that's going to really be heartbreaking for the mental. You have a 4v2 advantage, and you couldn't take care of a 1v4 onto the Thatcher. They're going to be kicking themselves after that round, but the Gunners are going to be... What am I talking about? I think it's going to be good for the side of Divoli going to their defense, knowing that they can win out these rounds that aren't their advantage. So Gunners, just by the skin of their teeth, getting that round going to their defense and playing 4 rounds.
That was a real good effort. I was, you know, I'm not going to swear on stream, but I was pooping bricks, to say it in a nicer manner. And in the final few right now, 4-2. Gunners heading over to the attack. And I mean, Amguns, unless Diavoli really have a Gracie, and I mean a wonderful natural 20 of a performance, they're soon going to be shown off against some match point action.
and a very similar lineup coming in from Divoli on their defense. This is a map where the meta has been established for a while now. There's a pretty optimal way to deal with this, and I love that the Gunners have hopped onto the Ashe. They've got the classic combination of a hard breach and Maverick to get things open, so it's all about what do we do after we get those things open. So to have the Ashe to take care of the mirrors is a pretty good thing, and it makes it very, very simple to deal with that utility that's being brought out by the defense.
Of course, we do have an exchange between the two. That's going to be the Bandit for the Maverick. One for the Breach and one to deny it. What an ironic exchange when it comes down to operator side. But currently, Gunners and Diaboli both fighting it out just to keep some sort of advantage over the other and make sure that the pressure is overwhelming. The C4, if you can time it right. No, I don't think it does. Nope, the Ace does get away with it. Everyone backs off. There was the sound cue, and the Blitz is now coming in, trying to break this mirror barrier, and is having a real rough time, but the Shatter comes through. It does nicely connect, and Gunners will have a halt currently, just waiting it out on electrical sides, but the Pinks are about to come out any second. I can imagine the aggression from Diaboli will go unpunished.
And Mirror's just found a little corner to tuck herself into as Blitz is knocking on the door here, and they've figured out the counter to it as Choose is going to find the Blitz. And this is where the attack, oh my god, Choose, you can't get away with it, as he's finally shut down as well. But Divoli doing a great job of finding the guns and the kills this time around, as Ashe is left all alone in the 1v3.
A 1v3 sadly comes down to it, and Gunners are going to be desperate situation. That's one headshot peeking out. You're going to be holding your head in shame as Diaboli are now the final two bunched up. You know about both of their positions, and currently this Ashe has a huge hold over them. Just nicely peeking, and if anyone decides to move, it will be an absolute gamble. Let me talk about it. We're looking for jackpots. The head had peeked out, the Runegate is down, and you don't have the ammo, but you go for the shot, you go for the feet, and it just doesn't land. Not enough to connect it through, and well, defense won't prevail for yet another.
And the Blitz for both of these teams is just not quite having the impact they needed to. It's quite surprising, to be honest, because a lot of the plays we're trying with the Blitz, it would be a lot more effective to try it with the Monty. You'd be able to take just as much space, but not have those weak spots of your arms sticking out. You can keep the shield fully extended, as I think that's the adaptation I want to see from the Gunners on their attack this time around. They are going to be sticking the Blitz, but I think he's just not quite the right tool for the job, as they are getting the defense to push back to the site. But those weak spots that you don't have with the Monty are causing the Blitz to be found here, and Divoli did a great job in that round of shutting that attack down, understanding where their hard line is, and making sure they hold that hard line, and that's what's given them that third round on their defense.
Without a doubt, and currently, we're looking to even things out. Now, this is going to be following. I really don't want to throw it back. And no, I'm not going to throw it back on stream, but throw it back to the first two maps, because it always has come down to this one round deficit, right? It's been close, and then it's all of a sudden it's 5-3, it's 6-3, it's 7-3. Something along the line. It's a bit similar, not exact. But what matters is the Diaboli here have more than enough potential to get it in, because this defense at the very end, although it was struggling for a moment, they still pulled together, even while spreading out, and even kind of relying on 1v1s a bit too much. But Gunners, they lost it, and Diaboli didn't.
And the difference between Divoli and Gunners on their defense is they've immediately decided to counter these shields. We didn't really see many like target operators to counter the shield gameplay coming in from the side of Gunners on their defense. Divoli's gone the complete opposite direction. We have a Kapkan on the board to try and get some cheeky kills on these aggressive plays. The Bolton's going to have to be a lot more careful this time around on where he's stepping and where he can get aggressive due to those Kapkans, which is great to see that adaptation coming out from Divoli.
Your best bet currently lies on this verticality, and Gunners definitely have considered that up until now, but I believe the strategy relies a bit more on going in from Breach alone, and maybe these stairs just may be one of those major entry points here, Amguns.
And this kitchen push is going to get spotted out by the Kapkan, so they're looking to go fast down into Exo. So Kapkan should be yelling at his team that, look, it's an Exo take, come help me out with this, and that's exactly what's happening here, Buffalo.
But it's not working well, right? Koyuno, he finds one off guard while Choose tries to sneak it away in. He's going to get taken out, and the Kapkan triple. That's the bingo board. Take it off, ladies and gentlemen. We have finally achieved it. The booby trap has claimed one for the name, and currently it's Diaboli still holding strong, but these are going to be lines of sight that you really need to be careful of, as Gunners have been shut down for now.
And this is really well responded to by Divoli. It's really good that Kapkan had the right positioning, had the right inclination to come check towards this kitchen side. That's where all of the attackers are, as Palsel's going to get tagged heavy. But this is so well responded to by the side of Divoli.
It is so well responded to, and right now, waiting for the call time to be picked up. There is a bit of a call coming in right now to Avali, and you're not answering. Don't leave them on red, as Gunners are going for the plant. This verticality to be waited. The Kapkan doesn't fall. No, rather it was a trap, but still failed. As Kuryudo from up top finding a duo to pick off. And currently, all the players to be taken off from Diavoli as they're putting a fight back at a triple for the buck. As he continues raining absolute hellfire. Not a single stoppage to his plan. Your raw force just going for that AR, the pistol even, trying to revive his teammate, but this is where they might get off guards. Oh, McSteen falls, Kuryudo's well to follow, and all of a sudden the last operator to be standing will be the Osha outside of the building with 30 seconds on the line and absolutely no way of coming back from this loss.
And it's the utility and team play from Divoli that's helped them out in this end of the round. There's a bulletproof camera posted up next to the default plant that's giving Divoli so much information. The dead guys can feed so much information on when to swing, when to get aggressive, and that's how they knew they could swing onto the revive that caused absolute carnage in this 8th round.
Yeah, but 8 seconds remain here, and the Osa is left to be standing, just trying to fight off the final two in 1v1 positions. Of course, they're going to be hiding. You do find out on one. He's spotted in your line of sight, but he's the one who connects those shots first, and that's why the defense will now equalize it out to 4-4.
As you said, this round or this game was ping-ponging back and forth, one round each which way. But this time, Davioli, they've managed to get 2 rounds back-to-back to tie things up 4-4 for us. So starting off their defensive half extremely strong with 2 rounds back-to-back, forced to go to the tertiary bomb site this time around. And this is where, with a flawless rotation coming in from Divoli Esports, they'll really shift the momentum in their favor and take the lead in this game. And it'll really give them some faith that they can win this game here in regulation time.
The second everyone knew everyone was dead, besides the Osa, the narrative has already been picked up. And Diavoli, again, they played it well. They got the information. They caught onto the act quickly themselves. And of course, they didn't try to push into the line of sight of the Osa either. They just went into angles where they had enough coverage to find themselves these 1v1s. They won it out. It's simple, right? But now Gunners, they've lost a couple of rounds, 2 in a row, back to back. 4th and back we go now, as round number 9 will be showing us yet again this middle ground.
And I'm really hoping the Bandit will get some value out of. He can completely negate the control for the attackers over the IT breach. The reason this particular breach is extremely important is as soon as you can get the IT breach open, you now control all of the vertical angles available for storage. We saw a masterclass in ELC of teams just getting the IT breach and hopping straight into storage due to the fact that there was not a lot of defenders in and around the first floor to hold on to this position, as that's what Gunners looks like they want to use and abuse, is that verticality in towards storage.
Bit of a bottleneck found on one of your players, Diavoli. Want to keep that lesion just standing longer for a bit more of the banditry. They're going to be denying, I believe, one of the exothermics. Does he get it in time? No, he did not trust the instincts of the sound cube. Maybe thought it was a bait, but what matters now is that Gunners have made themselves one big hole that came right up.
And I've casted it, man. I was hoping we'd get really good value out of this bandit, and he's just not put the bandit on the wall. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. As then essentially the IT breach opened up to kick things off for the Gunners. And look at this, they again, using Boltan, his shield to great effect. Now that there's no vertical angles available to the defense to use onto storage, they can just go direct to storage and try and make something happen. Smoke's got a little bit of a lineup here. I'm very curious to see if this is enough, but Diavolo's going to find one onto the bandit, trying to retake these vertical angles, as Bucks just made his way in as well.
Yes, they have. And currently, we did see a bit of a refreshment coming out from Diavoli. They lost one player, and they seeked out for that vengeance in an instant, so they got it. That was going to be the buck earlier. And Ryuko found himself a triple. Now this time, it's not going to be happening. And, well, Raul does find out where Diavolo stands, puts him onto the ground, and 6 foot under he is. Now the babes from above will be denying so much and damaging multiple at once. Boltan will have to move. The same goes for Knee. It's currently even taking it down onto the bottom ground. The Deimos will be contested, trying to to find this 1v1, wins it out against Devils as he falls to his hand. Now that AK still standing strong, the Blitz really cannot find any place of space and comfort inside this maze that has been put up by the side of defense, as they have completely blocked him out and limited it down to these last 50 seconds. And everyone pushing down, they're going to be going for a completely different path. A loopsy go around, and currently the Demo still sticking below. Now, of course, Bolton, your best chance here is to make entry from the backside.
And he's going to do that indeed, but there's Fenrir's and barbed wire everywhere he goes, as that barbed wire nearly taken him out, and there's so much information. The vertical players have completely switched onto the vert, onto this other site. So this switcheroo has been completely read into by the side of Davoli on their defense. They're holding these vert angles. They know exactly where it's coming in from, these vertical angles, and they give a lovely shot onto the Blitz in this 2v3.
Juice finds it from above. You need to make sure that that mute will not be standing for much longer, rather the smoke. And now, Hurt, he finds another. That's Kiwin, as he cannot fight back against the last one. The Demos, supposedly one of the best 1v1 operators, but once at 12 gauge you're facing, you pull out the revolver, Midwestern style, you fight it off. Can you get the second? The complementaries and through the defenders diagonally. We'll be taking round number 9. And Amguns, these rounds, how close they are to match point, may just be the most important.
So sorry. I'm so eager to get this out. There was such a good play coming in from the smoke. There's a nice little vertical angle that single-handedly denied the default plant. As we spoke about, when you clear those vertical angles, you can normally jump straight into the corner of storage and look to get that kit down. The smoke, as soon as they lost the IT control, he was posted up on his vertical angle, bouncing the smoke grenade off the pillar to deny that angle. The combination of the Fenrir and that smoke has completely repelled out the gunners from getting that kit down. As you spoke about, not being able to find any spot within the site that's safe to get the defuse down, it has meant they've had to completely switch the plan, and they've just been hit in the face with a little bit of an angle they weren't expecting, and it's completely turned around on its head. So lovely stuff from Davoli to have a plan of action to how to deny that plant, although the IT breach has been lost.
It is a sacrifice you need to make at times, but in the end, currently, we're going to be going down to round 10. These final possible rounds, again, it's all down to possibilities, and it matters most because every single one right now counts the most, seeing as Gunners and Diavoli are both reaching so close to the climax and a possible finisher to the game that we've all seen the first 2 matches go not even close to the overtime. It always went down 7-3, 7-5, but both of these teams are right now possible of making it happen for the first.
And I'm really surprised that Boltan's still insta-locking this Blitz. In the last few rounds, he just really hasn't been getting, I think, the value they should be expecting out of this operator. The guys side of Davoli are completely negating the impact that Blitz was having in the early parts of the half for the side of the Gunners. And him being the agent, one of the only agents or operators that can dislodge people out of the key positions, I think something like a Capital or a Ying would do be much more value for the attack, because right now Boltan I don't think he's having the impact that's justifying the pick of the Blitz here, Puffer.
Right? The Ying. You even called her one of the most underrated and underpicked operators. Please start using her. The power she holds is immense. To blind an entire building with just one candela, or rather a room set, whatever you want to consider it, in the end, no one has really even considered her. Currently, one of the main considerations is going to be the fact that the Juice has found his opening. And that's going to be a good start for Diavoli, especially as they're seeking out match point as early as they can. But the Blitz not making much of a move, rather just bait and switching.
And the Warden is the perfect operator to counter out this Blitz here, as they're going to find him before he even gets close to it. A lovely crossfire set up from Electrical onto this position, as Gunners' attack has been read into perfectly once again. But Ace is going to trade things back, leaving us in a 4v2 as the C4 finds its mark as well.
The C4 earlier, he was meaning to do it. He didn't do it in time, and in the end, he switched back to it, made sure it was contended, and currently Diavoli are still keeping up this sort of advantage, making sure all these players are going to be in their count to favor. Eggs in the basket, we talk about him, looking to shoot with the Baylid, but Devils with a pistol to counter out. He took up that honor, he took up that fight, he heard secondary, and he knew what time of the hour as was, and now Gunners will be against match point.
And this is beautiful work from the defense. Unfortunately for Gunners, they've tried this same attack one too many times. They always look to get the main breach and send the Blitz into the connector side. And unfortunately for the last 2 rounds, last 2 attacks onto this top floor site, Divoli have adapted beautifully to it. They've understood that if they keep the Warden over towards that connector side to counter the blitz. It lets Bandit Trick keep in a focus, keep his focus on the IT bridges. They completely denied that as well. And this is the little micro differences between rounds. Divoli, the round before, on their top floor, they dropped the Bandit. They were basically saying to the Gunners, get the breaches open and come at us. And now they've switched back to the Bandit. These little micro adaptations in the round to round, are making it extremely difficult for Gunners to keep predicting and adjust to what the defense is doing, because the defense is constantly evolving. To have that level of strategy present in these games is awesome.
Diaboli, right hand with hatchet, just looking to bury it now, as Gunners a lot up to offer. Not much more chances. Second ones are not going to be there, at least until you get that OT check mark. And currently the point still stands that Diaboli have 2 above you, which means the silver bullet is ready to be delivered and your head to be served on a platter. But Diaboli, they still haven't gotten to that point, and you Gunners are still in the game.
Gunners have brought the Aurora out as well, and I'm really curious to see how they can use this operator to cut off some of the key lines of sight that are held on this basement side. We went for a really heavy exo take last time around from the Gunners that was met with an even better response from Divoli. So they've got the exo side, or the Anima side, open already, making their way swiftly into the site here already, Puffo.
Already making their headway into side, and that's going to be kicking us off with a bit of gunfights early on, but everyone wants to be as cautious as most, especially Gunners, seeing as the position they currently hold may be their final on the Soulless Devils. Are you sure it's worth it?
He's going
yes,
for it, Puffo. He's not going to find anything, as Divolo is going to kick things off for us in the Anima side, and that's a really well worked entry as he single-handedly getting the advantage for his team.
Single-handedly indeed. Now the Twitch is going to be back on those drones, and Diaboli seem to have lost 1 player. Looking to make the same count for Gunners and have them tase their own medicine. That hasn't come around yet. The Aurora ability coming through. This is what we love to see in the plant. It's just being baited out. The smoke, it was all just a guess. Karyudo finds one from the back lines, and currently the mirror being exposed, playing those guns correctly, and that's the diffuser dropped just at that corner. And as long as Diaboli realize what they currently hold, they will be able to take this without any need or sweat.
Legion's still hanging out towards this top floor. I think he's got these vertical angles through this from the 3rd floor through the 2nd floor onto the breach itself, as they're going to clear this utility, as they need to retrieve the kit, as it somehow ended up deep in the site. With a minute to go, a lot of chaos coming in the server here.
Mind games coming around. The death mark will be revealing that the Deimos is looking to find his way, and even confirming that the diffuser is 100% behind that 3rd wall. Now trying to find nades, maybe some utility to chuck at this mirror. The smokes will be denying vision, and in the meanwhile, that's going to be allowing entry for these attackers, but it's going to be a bit more difficult to put those steps in, as Rui will find Diablo. Herod with 1 as well, but oh, what are we thinking about this greed? And pushing up, you get found out. It was an exchange of 1, applying extra pressure, but look at this verticality. Oh, you expose yourself, and that's simply not the greatest, as you could have been a bit more patient and even denied the plant later on. The Legion still fights them all off, and Kiwin will not win it in the end. A 1v1 down below. Diablo lose it out in the goo mine there, just to put a prerequisite, making sure that the move won't be there. The diffuser not even bothered to be picked up. And what are we thinking, Gunners? Yes, it is on the Twitch, but not trying to bait it out. Now we know that the Legion's right around the corner, trying to fake, trying to go for it. Yes, pros don't fake. That is true. But our Gunners, the true pros that will take it. Yes, they are, but it's a trend. Diablo take it just because they're on the defense. A pure minor factor that ended up working the best in their favor. Shots connecting 1 for 1, eye for eye, and the victory 7-4 in the favor of Diaboli.
And unfortunately for the Gunners, they never fully dealt with the vertical control that the side of Diaboli were holding against them. That Legion, Maratz, in that last couple of minutes, was doing work from the top floor, man. He was absolutely cooking everybody. They tried, it was a nice little attempt from the Twitch to try and bait the attention, but Maratz was too wise to the pinch coming out onto him, and him holding onto that vertical gameplay is what's allowed Mira to feel comfortable in that position. Although they're utility dumping to clear that Mira out of that position to try and regain the diffuser, as it's just that pressure from the vert. But also, why are we roaring and smoking one way and taking the diffuser without any utility the other way? Doesn't seem to make much sense. There's a real misplay, I think, coming in there from the Gunners, not quite communicating as well as they should be on where that kit should be going down. But a real credit to Divoli to respond so well to the attack that was presented to them and to counteract it brilliantly. That's going to be all of our games concluded here, Puffo, for the first day of the Voltage group stage.
And honestly, I could not be more satisfied. I feel like all these matches today were absolute hype. I think everyone who joined them, I imagine everyone in chat, whatever you voted for, whoever team you were there, if you were for the fun of it, or if you were here just to support a certain person, a certain team yet again, I imagine everyone had a blast. Now, of course, that's going to be it for today. We do want to thank everyone who came out, everyone in the production, Amguns. Thank you so much for casting alongside me. And please, give us your final words.
I think before we do just that, let's take a look at the standings as well.
I forgot.
So just before we head on off, let's take a look at how, after the first play day, the standings look. Obviously, unfortunately, Sokopatas versus NXT not being able to play today because all of Spain apparently had a power outage. It's not like you trip your fuse box and you can't get back online. The whole country went offline today, which is not something you see every day. So that game will be rescheduled for another time. But this is what your leaderboard looks like today. So Divoli as well as the Turks both taking convincing victories in their respective games, winning in regulation time, of course, giving them the max amount of points. The only thing separating them is going to be their score difference. Not very much in it either. In that score difference, Valerie Sports also winning in regulation time, but again, the round difference being the tiebreaker there. Wild Gunners and the Year of the Snake, unfortunately, all losing out today. So after our first play day, that's how it stands.
That is how it stands. And of course, there's going to be more matches upcoming. Just keep in mind that Voltage it has begun. There's going to be many more to look out for. Make sure to, again, be here all the time because matches like these are going to occur. Maybe some faster, maybe some overtimes, which sadly we did not get to see today. But up until next time, again, as we meet Puffle Bob, this has been Amguns, and we're going to be sending you off.